From Doran Park in Bourne, Massachusetts, we welcome you to the Falmouth Commodores radio network for some Falmouth Commodore baseball. It's a Red Shirt Friday with a big Western Division matchup. There are just 9 games remaining in the regular season, and that means the playoff push is full speed ahead. Hi, everybody. Great to have you with us on the Falmouth Commodores radio network with Carter Bainbridge, Logan, Soforenko. Carter, let's jump right into things. The Falmouth Commodores sitting pretty comfortably in a playoff spot right now, but they had a tough loss against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks last night in a game in which they really should have won.
The key today for the Doors is not just to get points and strengthen their position in the Western Division, but is to make sure they don't have an emotional letdown after what was perhaps the toughest loss of the entire season last night. I know the Doors are in 4th place, and they've lost 17 games coming into tonight, but you'll be hard-pressed to find a more difficult one to swallow for Falmouth last night, with 5 errors against Hyannis and a couple more mistakes on the base paths that proved very costly late in that game. The Doors, quite frankly, had one right in their hands that they let slip away with a 3-run lead, ended up losing by just 1 to a very pesky Hyannis team. That wasn't one the Doors had to have, but it was one that they should have had and definitely wanted to close out, but couldn't seal the deal.
Well, Carter, you talked about it yesterday, about this Bourne Falmouth series in 2022. It's been kind of a toss-up. We're right now in matchup number 5 on the regular season. So what's it going to be like tonight? We saw some low-scoring games at Gov Fuller Field. The last time the Falmouth Commodores were here at Doran Park, they got a victory with the guy who's on the mound today, Doran Watts-Brown.
Yeah, these two teams are pretty evenly matched. You look at this, the standings, 3rd and 4th place. Bourne, of course, with the winning record. Falmouth in 4th place in the West. But Falmouth as a team has struggled with the bats against the Braves, but so too have the Braves the other way around. If you look at it, both these teams have pitched each other very well in this matchup. And the last time these two teams met, we had one of the better games on the entire Cape the whole summer out at the Gov, when Falmouth came away with that 4-3 victory over Bourne in that game. So if there's anything like that tonight, it's going to be tight, it's going to be stressful, but the Doors are trying to make sure they pad that lead in 4th place. Currently, Falmouth is 5 points ahead of Wareham in the West.
Well, you talked about that 4-3 victory. That was just one of the longer saves Joey Ryan got in the last week. He had a 5-out save that game. But you talked about the batting as a team combined. The Commodores hitting .213 combined against the Bourne Braves, and the Bourne Braves hitting .237 against the Falmouth Commodores. So something's got to give. The Bourne Braves with 38 points in the Western Division, currently sitting at 3rd place, and the Commodores with 33 points sitting in 4th place in the Western Division. It's the Bravos and the Commodores coming up shortly as you're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Falmouth Commodores radio network.
pitch. First up, we have Bruce Suey with Majors RV. Okay, Bruce, how about a strike? Great job, Bruce, and thank you to Majors RV for their support of the Bourne Braves. Next up, we have Jack Farley and Ben Noble from the Plymouth Little League throwing out a ceremonial first pitch. Okay, boys, how about a strike? Thank you, Jack and Ben.
Well, the national anthem has been sung. A couple of kids threw out a first pitch, and we're ready for some Commodore baseball. The Falmouth Commodore lineup, Alex Mooney leading things off, Colby Halter batting second, Jace Borfin batting third. He's in left again today. Andrew Pinkney, he is back and batting cleanup. Peyton Stovall, who was at second base, batting fifth. Jacob Walsh batting sixth. He's back in the lineup. Drew Brutcher batting seventh. Daniel Neary doing the 8-spot work. And then Luke Boyers will be DHing and batting ninth. And they're going to be going up against a left-handed pitcher, Hunter Furtado, a couple of SEC guys.
And Furtado, left-hander from Atlantis, Florida, that is pitching this spring for Alabama. So we've seen some Crimson Tide starting pitchers come through Falmouth, and now Bourne has one of its own. At Alabama this spring, Furtado was a reliever. He didn't start a single game in 17 appearances for the Tide. 6.47 ERA in 32 innings, 16 walks, 33 strikeouts, 23 earned runs. Fastball, curveball pitcher primarily. Fastball low 90s, 92, 94, tops out at 95, and a curveball in the high 70s, but it can also touch the low 80s. So your primary offerings there from Furtado, a guy who first pitched at Wake Forest and then went to Alabama this spring.
Well, that's the story of many Cape Cod players going to multiple schools to find the best fit for them. But now here is Alex Mooney, who has been raising his average pretty significantly these past couple of games. Tim Reiner, the third base umpire, Steve Calenda, the first base umpire, and Michael Farman behind the plate. We are set to go here at Doran Park. Not a cloud in sight. Wind blowing to the left field. Here's the first pitch to Mooney. It's a breaking ball, misses outside. 1-0 the count. A 6:03 first pitch. Furtado working from the windup, fires the 0-1. Or the 1-0's foul behind home plate, 1-1 the count. Mooney, the great hitter he is, will be an all-star tomorrow at Spillane Field. He struggled against the Bourne Braves. 176, 3 for 17, 2 runs, has 1 home run, walked twice, struck out twice, and swiped 2 bags. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Furtado took something off of that one on the outside part of the strike zone.
Taking advantage a little bit of the aggressiveness that we've seen Mooney display lately. Went after the first pitch a couple different times yesterday. Rewarded with an RBI at one point.
Here's the 1-2. Misses outside, 2-2. Mooney does have a home run against these Bourne Braves. He's got 3 on the season, looking for his first home run on the road. Furtado from the windup, fires the 2-2. Ground ball left side. The third baseman Hensler gathers, fires over to first. Brito squeezes it, and Mooney is retired. 1 gone here in the top of the first inning. The Bourne Braves defense, Wyatt Hensler just made that play over there at third base. Matt Shaw at short, Bryce Evelyn at second, Chris Brito at first. Outfield left to right. Evan Slight, Mac Horvath in center. Carson Jones in right with Alan Espinal back in the lineup doing the catching for Hunter Furtado. So now here's Colby Halter, the lefty batter, stepping into the batter's box, and he's wearing number 7 today. Wore number 3 with the Doors. Hit a home run last night, so it did work. Furtado ready with the first offering to Halter. And it catches some strike. 0-1. Halter, a .305 hitter. The starting third baseman for the All-Star game tomorrow at Spillane Field. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Halter goes after that pitch and rips it the other way. Foul, 0-2 as it goes out of play. Well, Halter, a guy that loves that right center gap for home runs. That's where a vast majority of his home runs have gone to this season. We saw one over the right field wall, over the right fielder's head in Hyannis, but a lot of right center work. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball misses inside, 1-2.
Halter's shown that he can go the other way. He's been
Yes.
one of the better contact hitters in this lineup, but when he really gets a hold of one, it's to the pull side.
1-2 the count on Halter. He's walked 16 times this year. Here's the 1-2. 2-2 now. Misses low.
And what's sneaky about him is that if you pay too much attention to the average, you miss the power numbers. This guy has 6 home runs this summer. That's up near the top of the entire Cape League.
Furtado from the windup fires the 2-2. Ground ball right side. That's a foul ball by about a couple of inches as it squeaks by Chris Brito. We'll do the 2-2 again. But yeah, absolutely. A couple of guys that were up there in that home run category were released by their teams. Kevin Sim of Orleans, he hit 5. Alex Freeland of Brewster, who was named to the All-Star team, he hit 5 home runs, but he was released by Brewster. 5 pitches in this at bat. The 6th one on its way. Furtado taking his time, goes from the windup and fires. Ground ball right side towards the gap. Chris Brito on a dive, makes the play, throws over to Furtado, and Colby Halter beats it out. It's an infield single for Colby Halter, and that's going to bring up Jace Borfin with 1 out.
There's a couple guys on this Commodores
fielder
team
number
who
9
do
out of
that quite a
Arkansas,
bit.
Jace
You think of
Borfin.
Travis Chestnut as the ideal candidate to beat out infield hits. Mooney has done it a couple times. But for Halter, who puts the ball in play so often, he has had a couple plays like that where he just beats out a little chopper. Not the easiest plays in the world for Brito to make, but Halter rewarded for his hustle with the first hit of the day.
First pitch to Borfin misses low, 1-0 the count. Chris Brito, who hits the ball extremely well with not only Rutgers but the Bourne Braves, doesn't get enough credit for the defense he plays at first base. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. One hops Espinal, and he keeps it in front of him, 2-0. Borfin tried to get 2 triples last night. He had one, was gunned down at third with nobody out. Hit his first home run of the season at White House Field on Wednesday night. Ahead in this count, 2-0. Halter, who is a base-stealing threat, takes his lead off first. Here's the pitch. Little excuse-me swing gets in there for strike number 1. 2-1 the count. Good to see Borfin back in the field. We'll see him in left today for the 2nd time this season. Very busy last night. Halter takes his lead. Furtado comes set, checks on him twice, and fires a 2-1. Borfin grounds one right to short. Shaw flips over to second for 1. Over to first, and it's a double play. 6-4-3 it goes. And that's the end of the top of the first inning. We go to the bottom half, scoreless, as you're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Falmouth Commodores Radio Network. Back here at Doran Park, scoreless in the bottom of the first inning. It's the Falmouth Commodores and the Bourne Braves. Jerron Watts-Brown gets the call to start this game against the Bourne Braves. Jerron Watts-Brown does have an outing here at Doran Park. 1-0 against the Braves here. 5 innings of work, 5 hits, 4 runs. All of them were earned. He struck out 6, gave up a double. He faced 21 batters and yielded a .238 batting average. But he's rocking the high socks today, unlike the start at Gov Fuller Field against the Wareham Gatemen where he had low socks. So the Bourne Braves will have Bryce Eblin, Mac Horvath, Matt Shaw, Evan Slight doing the cleanup work, Chris Brito, and then Carson Jones, Josh Moylan, Wyatt Hensler, and then Alan Espinal back in the lineup. Now here's Eblin, who the Commodores did not see in their last contest. It was actually a pinch running scenario where he came in and they wanted him to score. First pitch from Watts-Brown. Misses high and tight, 1-0. Commodores in their road black uniforms. And on a Red Shirt Friday, the home team is wearing the red shirt for the military appreciation. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Eblin hitting .235 on the season. 1 extra base hit, 4 runs driven in. He's walked 13 times and has struck out 14 times. Lefty on righty. Eblin is in the lefty batter's box. Watts-Brown ready with the 1-1. Here's the pitch. Misses low and outside, 2-1. Watts-Brown shook off his catcher Daniel Neary about once or twice before electing to throw the pitch on the outside part of the strike zone that missed. Here's the 2-1. That's in there for strike 2. That's the second time we've seen an inside pitch get called for a strike. Watts-Brown wants to work fast. Eblin taking his time in the batter's box. 2-2 the count. Here's the pitch. He got him looking. Strike 3 on 5 pitches. It's the first strikeout for Jerron Watts-Brown.
Center fielder, number
1
21
gone
out of
here
North
in the bottom of the
Carolina,
first.
Mac Horvath.
Well, Watts-Brown entered the day with more strikeouts on the summer than any other Falmouth pitcher, with now 30, including that K of Eblin. He's got a 5-pitch mix, 4-seam, 2-seam, slider, curveball, and changeup.
First pitch to Horvath is grounded to Halter through his glove at third base. Horvath takes a round at first, and he'll stop there. So it will likely be an E5 on Halter. But Mac Horvath, this is a guy that has punished just the Falmouth Commodores. He entered today 1 for 10 against Falmouth, and his only hit was a 2-run home run in a 4-3 loss. So now here is Matt Shaw, and here is a player that is absolutely insane. Get a chance to hear from Matt Levine, the 2021 Falmouth Commodore broadcaster, former Maryland broadcaster. Had a lot of nice things to say about Matt Shaw. Here's the first pitch to him. Misses outside, 1-0. I mean, this kid hit for the cycle just a week ago. It was the first cycle on Cape Cod in 11 years. Horvath takes his lead at first. Jerron Watts-Brown comes set. Doesn't even check on him and fires the pitch. Chopper foul. 1-1 the count as Jerron Watts-Brown lost his hat. It blew off him. But Watts-Brown, a guy that can work around jams. Saw it a lot in his Brewster outing where he started off an inning with sometimes runners at second and third and nobody out, and he got out of it.
Well, strikeout stuff will do it for you.
1-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Horvath takes off. Here's the throw to second, and it's not in time as Horvath gets a stolen bag. They want to see if it was a strike. Home plate umpire says it wasn't. He'll check down to the first base umpire, Steve Kalenda. He did not go around. The count's at 2-1. Good spot there from Watts-Brown, though.
I thought that pitch was going to be called a strike when it came in. But you got a hitter's count now for a guy who's making a serious case to be Cape Cod League MVP. At this point, you can definitely say that. Current active leader in average, 5 home runs, 19 driven in, 15 stolen bases.
Hitting .361 on the season.
It's been a force.
Chases the 2-1. And it's now 2-2. Shaw's been absolutely insane. And the Maryland social media loves seeing it. 2-2 the count. Watts Brown comes set, steps off, and he'll reset. Commodores with 33 points today, Bourne with 38. Watts Brown checks on Horvath. Does it twice and fires a 2-2. Into left field, that's a base hit. Horvath rounding third, he's given the stop sign, and they're at first and third with one out here in the bottom of the first inning. And there goes Matt Shaw again.
Left fielder number 27.
He's had a lot of at-bats go that way.
Evan
One bad
Slight.
swing on that 2-1 pitch, but then he regroups, just slashes a solid single into left field, and you hope that the sloppy defense isn't going to keep costing the Commodores. It certainly did yesterday with 5 errors against Hyannis. Throwing from the left side of the infield has all of a sudden become a problem. We saw Jackson Nicholas have some trouble at third over there, and a couple errors lately on Colby Halter the past week or so. All of a sudden, a couple E5s have been cropping up.
So now here's Evan Slight with 2 on and 1 out. Here's the pitch. In the air to left towards the line and slicing, and it's a foul ball. 0-1 the count. Well, when one great hitter exits, another one follows. Evan Slight was a Cape Cod Baseball League Player of the Week, and his numbers were absolutely insane as he gets the bat from his college teammate at Rutgers, Chris Brito. But the Commodores, as you mentioned about the errors, they lead Cape Cod with 53 committed combined as a team. Watts Brown comes set, righty on lefty. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Runner takes off. Throw to second is not in time. Matt Shaw swipes second. So the Bourne Braves are in business here in the bottom of the first inning. So 1-1 the count. Slight, a .321 hitter, 2 home runs, 9 driven in. He's walked 11 times and has struck out 20 times. Here's the 1-1. Misses way inside, 2-1.
This is the way the Braves like to play if you let them. They run like the wind. Second in the league in stolen bases with 65 to this point in the season, at least coming into the night. Make that 67 with a pair here in this opening inning.
Middle infielders playing a little bit back, corners right around the middle of the dirt. Here's the 2-1. Misses way inside, 3-1. And you got to be careful here because a red-hot bat is waiting on deck. Chris Brito went 3 for 3 last night in a big matchup against the Wareham Gatemen. Watts Brown comes set. Here's the 3-1. In the air to shallow center field. Coming in is Pinckney. He lets it drop. Coming in to score is Horvath. Shaw is held at third. It's an RBI single for Evan Slight. 1-0 here in the bottom of the first inning. Bourne leads.
And that's the problem with this Braves lineup because you just eventually have to pitch to someone. This is about as good a heart of the order as you'll find in the league right now. Shaw first in the league in batting average, Slight in second place. And then Chris Brito here at the plate, a guy who just routinely hits the ball very hard and draws a lot of walks.
First pitch to Brito. Swing and a miss, 0-1. You mentioned the walks. He's drawn 23 coming into today, but he also hits the ball very well. 4th on Cape Cod in exit velo. Right behind Hogan Windish, who sits at 3rd. Curtis Byrne of Brewster sits at number 2. And Ty Johnson of Katuitt at number 1. Here's the 0-1. Brito sends this one into the air towards center field. Pinckney makes the catch. Tagging from 3rd is Shaw. The throw is up the line, and it's a sac fly for Chris Brito. 2-0 here in the bottom of the first inning. Bourne on top.
And for Brito, that's just his brand. 252 average doesn't wow you, but that's his 20th RBI of the summer because he always puts the ball in play, does it effectively with guys at third base with fewer than 2 outs. He does it again here to give the Braves a 2-0 lead. It's just about doing your job.
2 runs on 2 hits and a sac fly. First pitch to Carson Jones misses inside, 1-0. Falmouth Commodore defense, Colby Halter at 3rd, Alex Mooney at short, Peyton Stovall at 2nd, Jacob Walsh at 1st, Jace Borfin in left field, Andrew Pinckney in center, Drew Brutcher in right with Daniel Neary doing the catching for Watts Brown. Here's the 1-0. Ground ball right side. Stovall at second. Gathers, fires over to first, and retires Carson Jones. The inning is over. The Bourne Braves get 2 as we go to the top of the second inning as you're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Falmouth Commodores Radio Network.
Fans, we ask that you direct
Cape Tech is expanding their campus, and as such, there have been changes to our away fan area again this year. I ask that our fans stay out of the construction zone on the first base side and strongly urge parents to monitor their children throughout the game and not allow them to play in the large dirt and gravel pits so that we can continue to provide Bourne Braves baseball for you at Doran Park. Thank you for your understanding and full cooperation, and we look forward to the enhanced seating that UCT envisions for next year.
Back here at Doran Park, Falmouth trails Bourne by 2 runs. Along with Carter Bainbridge, Logan Soforenko here. Andrew Pinckney back with the Commodores. He'll lead things off here in the top of the second inning against Hunter Furtado, who's on for his second inning of work. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Well, Pinckney, right before his departure, really started to heat up. He comes into today hitting .253 with 4 home runs, and he's driven in 14. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball misses outside, 1-1. Walked 5 times and has struck out 30 times. Furtado taking his time as he gets his sign from Alan Espinal and fires the 1-1. Another breaking ball. That time it catches the strike zone, 1-2. Really using the lefty sweeping breaking ball on a right hitter. He's looking for his first strikeout of the day. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to short. Matt Shaw gathers, fires over to first, and Pinckney is retired. He was sprinting down that line, and that's going to bring up Peyton Stovall.
second baseman, number 10, out of Arkansas, Peyton Stovall.
So Peyton Stovall will step into the batter's box. He's the 3rd Falmouth Commodore this summer to wear the number 10. But Stovall, no stranger to hitting the ball with power. First pitch he sees misses way inside, 1-0. Hitting .218 on the year, 2 home runs. His first home run of the season was here at Doran Park, and it was the first game he was activated by the Falmouth Commodores. Here's the 1-0. High and tight towards him, and 2-1 as he spins down to the floor. And he's getting up slow. That'll wake you up.
Yeah, so you want to come up and play on Cape Cod, huh?
And it looks like that actually hit him. So he will head over to first base with 1 out as Jacob Walsh will step into the batter's box. Initially, it didn't look like it got anything. It looked like it just sent him down to the floor.
Yeah, in that case, you're glad that it just did give him a
First baseman,
scare.
number
Might have been a
23
little
out of
jersey
Oregon,
clip or
Jacob
something of the sort. Didn't look like he was in much pain, but take that if you're the Doors.
So now here's Jacob Walsh, who was not in the lineup last night until the 9th inning, in which he pinch hit and almost tied the game. As they throw back over to Stovall. They brought him out of the game, Jacob Walsh, in the 9th inning to put Luke Boyers on. He advanced over to third base and was stranded with nobody out. First pitch to Walsh. Swing and a miss. 0-1. Jacob Walsh hitting .177 on the season, 4 home runs, 11 driven in. He's walked 14 times and has struck out 35 times. Stovall takes his lead over there at first. Lefty pitcher, so it gets a little more complicated if you want to swipe a bag. Stovall not necessarily a base-stealing threat. 0-1 the count. Pitch will not be delivered as Furtado checks on Stovall again for the second time. Jacob Walsh has seen the ball really well against the Bourne Braves, 4 for 16. Here's the pitch. Little chopper, this is in play to the right side. Brito makes the tag on Walsh. He missed him at first, throws over there to first, and there are 2 gone. That's the second time in the last week we've seen one of those weird choppers off the bat of Jacob Walsh that have stayed in play, and Walsh wasn't necessarily sure if it was going to stay fair.
Yeah, but a good job by the Braves for
Right
being
fielder,
diligent on
number 16 out of
defense
South
there,
Florida,
because I'm not
Drew
quite sure that
Bridger.
tag up the first baseline got Walsh at first either.
Mm.
He certainly didn't act like it did. He kept on running past the potential tag of Brito, who then threw it to Eblin, the second baseman, covering first. So for the Bourne Braves, a team that has struggled similarly on defense to the Doors, Braves come into tonight 8th in the league in errors, 3rd most of any team. Doing sound things like that can only help you.
So now here's Drew Brutcher, who has been increasing that average every day, swinging perhaps the hottest bat on the team. First pitch he sees. Spoiled behind home plate foul, 0-1.
Well, entering the day, Drew Brutcher's numbers in the month of July are better than any other regular Commodore hitter. The only guy with a better batting average in the month of July is Andrew Pinckney, who just missed about 3 games.
Another Commodore that's been raising his average in that July month.
Brutcher at .322 his first 16 games in this month of July.
Brutcher and Pinckney striking out a lot in June, but putting the ball in play. The 3rd time we've seen Furtado check on Stovall, this time Stovall over there at second. Furtado comes set with Brutcher in the batter's box, and he wants to get on the same page with Alan Espinal, the Vanderbilt catcher. And they've just issued a warning to Hunter Furtado. At least the third base umpire, Tim Reiner, did. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Brutcher looks at ball 1 high and tight. Count even at 1. Well, Brutcher, 3 home runs, 13 driven in. He's walked 10 times and has struck out 36 times. His lone road home run was at Veterans Field in week 2 of the season, in which he sent it onto Depot Avenue right behind the berm. Here's the 1-1. Little chopper behind home plate, 1-2. Well, that hit by pitch to Peyton Stovall, that was the first base runner in this inning. But Furtado is still looking for his first strikeout of the game. Not many times you see pitchers wearing number 1. Furtado shaking off Alan Espinal quite a bit, but gets his sign and comes set and fires the 1-2. Breaking ball high and tight again inside, 2-2 the count. The wind blowing towards left field with the flag out in straightaway center here at Doran Park. 330 to left, 395 to dead center, and 360 to right. So it is deep. The 2-2. Ground ball to the right side. Brito at first steps on the bag after fielding it in fair territory, and that's that. We go to the bottom of the second inning. Bourne on top 2-0 as you're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Falmouth Commodores Radio Network. Back here at Doran Park, Josh Moylan, Wyatt Hensler, and Alan Espinal due up here in the bottom of the second inning, along with Carter Bainbridge, Logan Soforenko. 2-0 ball game, Bourne on top over Falmouth. Game number 36 on the regular season. Getting closer and closer to the postseason. Here's the first pitch from Watts Brown. Moylan looks at strike one, 0-1. Moylan 162 on the year, 3 home runs, 11 driven in. He's walked 6 times and has struck out 23 times, and he's DH'd quite a bit this year with Bourne. Here's the 0-1. He spoils that one behind home plate, 0-2. He's a .221 hitter with East Carolina. Made 58 starts in the 59 games he played in. 0-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Watts Brown misses low, 1-2 the count. Batters 7, 8, and 9 here in this bottom of the second. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Watts Brown got him. Second strikeout for Doran. One gone here in the bottom of the second. And now here comes Wyatt Hensler.
Please move your car immediately or risk it being towed. I repeat.
Well, we heard this over the PA, Carter, about cars being parked in the wrong spots. It seems we have our first victim here in the bottom of the second inning.
I think they're just giving him a final warning. Make sure if they don't move that, then there's going to be some trouble.
Wyatt Hensler.
So Wyatt Hensler, the Ivy man, stepping into the batter's box with 1 out. Here's the first pitch he sees. Trying to see if they go around on a pitch that missed outside. He checked his swing. 1-0 the count.
Speaking of trouble, that's what Watts Brown's trying to avoid here in this second inning by getting through this bottom third, 1, 2, 3. Doesn't want to have to face the top of this Bourne order more times than he has to.
Here's the 1-0. That's a strike. Had some heat on it. 1-1 the count. In that first inning, he saw 6 batters. Trying to go quick here. From the windup, he fires the 1-1. Ooh, nice breaking ball, and it gets the strike zone. 1-2 the count.
It's already been a tougher beginning to this game for Watts Brown than he had his last time in this park, where he was scoreless through 5 and then went 5+ officially in the game because things started to go sideways in the 6th. Ended up giving up 4 earned in that game.
1-2 misses outside, 2-2. But the Doors ended up winning that game, and that started a little bit of a streak for the Doors in which they swept the weekend. 2-2 the count. Here's the pitch from Watts Brown. Did he go around? No check with the first base umpire, Steve Kalenda, and the count's run full.
Just to conclude that thought, entering that game, the Doors had blown, I think, 6 chances to get Jeff Trundy's 500 career win.
Here's the payoff. Swing and a miss. That time he went around, and that's strike 3. Third strikeout for Doran Watts Brown, and the second one this inning.
Watts Brown starting to look a little bit more like he did that night back on July 2nd. But
Espinal.
You look at that point with the season coming to its close, approaching soon, that might have been kind of a turning point. They got the win here at Bourne. They've been playing much better baseball since that point, and they've gotten themselves into 4th place.
First pitch to Alan Espinal is fouled behind home plate. 0-1 the count. Alan Espinal, a guy that has kind of tormented the Falmouth Commodores. He's 4 for 40 on the year, so the numbers aren't good as the 0-1 pitch misses low and outside, 1-1. But 2 of those 4 hits came against the Doors. It was an RBI single and then a solo home run back at the Gov. Watts Brown from the windup fires the 1-1. Ground ball left side to Halter at third. Halter gathers and fires over to first and retires Alan Espinal. Watts Brown gets him in order here in the bottom of the second as we go to the top of the third inning with a very special guest coming up. Don't go anywhere as you're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Falmouth Commodores Radio Network. Back here at Doran Park, along with Carter Bainbridge and Matt Levine, former Falmouth Commodore broadcaster. He was with Falmouth in the 2021 season, a recent graduate of Maryland. Matt, how you doing today, man?
Guys, I'm great. Thank you guys so much for having me. It's really just a pleasure to be back here. First time back in about a year now.
Now, unfortunately, you're not going to be at the Gov seeing any home games, but you're back here at Doran Park. What kind of memories did you have at this ballpark specifically last year?
Oh, there were too many because Maryland, or excuse me, I already said it, Maryland. Falmouth and Bourne went back and forth a couple times. Bourne was really solid last year. Falmouth had a tough year, but when the team came to play at Doran Park, I remember specifically one of the games went to a rain delay. It never actually rained. It was an hour-and-a-half rain delay. And we were just hanging out in the dugout with some of the players, and they're all just goofing around. It was just a good time, really seeing kind of the personal side to them, in addition to them as a player. But that game that did go an hour-and-a-half rain delay that never rained ended in a walk-off home run.
Oh, there you go.
For Bourne. So I got to call a walk-off home run against Falmouth. It was a long day, but it was a memory that I'll remember.
And Bourne was one of, if not the best team on Cape Cod last summer, correct?
Yeah, they should have won the whole thing. But
yeah,
they went
Bruce,
to the championship.
Yeah,
and
Brewster stole
took
it. So now here is Daniel Neary leading things off for the Doors. First pitch he sees, misses way inside. 1-0 the count. But Daniel Neary, a guy that we just activated on Tuesday from the University of Notre Dame. But Matt, what's it like being on the other side of things as a fan? Because it's just so different now as the 1-0 pitch gets in there for strike one.
Well, this is the first time back on Cape Cod, and I was joking before. Really the first time watching any collegiate level sports in person as a fan in so long. You know, you do all these games at school.
The 1-1 is spoiled foul behind home plate, 1-2. More and more shadows popping on the field. But to your point, it's the first time you've been back in a while. You're doing a little bit of busy work down there in Maryland. What was that like? Because Maryland hosted a regional this past season. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. It misses low and outside, 2-2.
Well, you got a couple of guys here for the Bourne Braves. One right now, Matt Shaw, shortstop, on the field right now, already 1 for 1, a run, a stolen base. You guys were talking about earlier, a front runner for Cape League MVP already. He's one of the best players in College Park, and a tremendous season that I got to be a part of.
Here's the 2-2. Little pop-up right over our heads and out of play, towards the press box, I should say. We'll do the 2-2 again.
And a record-breaking season, best overall record, best regular season record, hosted a regional for the first time. And I was the director of the broadcasting and media for the Maryland Baseball Network this entire year and the year before as well.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Neary lays off, and the counts run full.
So, I mean, I watched as many innings of Maryland baseball as probably anybody, and it was just a complete joy. Just so many memories. I got to call a perfect game. I got to call
that's right.
Yeah, Ryan Ramsey threw a perfect game.
Here's the payoff pitch. Neary goes down swinging. The first strikeout for Hunter Furtado. And there's one gone here in the top of the third inning. So how do you think that Falmouth prepared you for this large role you had in your final year at Maryland? Because especially it seemed that it was in good use because Maryland had such good success this year.
Well, I think just the reps every single day, being on the air every single day, watching baseball, you get a feel for kind of how you should go about it on the air.
First pitch to Luke Boyers. Misses outside, 1-0. Boyers, the switch hitting DH today, batting righty against the lefty Furtado. You saw this guy last year a little bit.
Yeah, really good center field defensively.
1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. Boyers looks strike one. 1-1 the count.
But going back to that point, just, you know, seeing baseball all the time, and in college you play a weekend series and maybe one midweek. And on Cape Cod, it's every night. So those reps were so tremendous going into the spring year.
The 1-1, one hops the plate, 2-1. And it's exhausting sometimes. I'm sure myself, Carter Bainbridge, and Trey Redfield, who is doing field reporter duty today, can speak for the same thing. It gets tiring sometimes, and it gets to you 6 days a week, sometimes, in our case, 13 days in a row without a break because the Fenway Day.
Yeah, it's a lot of, for me, it was a lot of hydrating, a lot of making sure that my voice wasn't gone. And I surprisingly lasted the entire year. It was 36 games, I believe, 4 were rained out.
Here's the 2-1. Boyers chases that one, 2-2 the count.
And I really didn't have trouble with any sickness or my voice until literally the last day when we were playing Bourne and the game got rained out on the last day of the season. So that's kind of how it ended. But we said our goodbyes the day before expecting the rain out, so it ended the right way.
You expected the rain. You can't predict the weather out here on Cape Cod, at least this year, as Furtado shakes off Alan Espinal quite a few times and fires the 2-2 pitch. Ground ball left side, foul. We'll do the 2-2 again. So you see a couple of familiar names in the lineup today that you got to call last year, Luke Boyers being one of them, Jace Borfin being another. What was it like last year seeing the talent? You got to see Braden Taylor. You got to see Levi Wells and Mikey Tepper, guys that we got to see this year. It's pretty cool seeing that some guys do return for a second year as the 2-2 pitch misses inside, 3-2 the count.
Well, the MLB draft was just a couple of days ago, and a tremendous amount of Commodores from just last season were picked. Anthony Hall went in the 4th round for the Commodores last summer.
Payoff pitch is cut on and missed for strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Furtado.
Doug Hodo III got picked by the Orioles.
Shortstop.
Keep going down. Brennan Malone.
Michael
Casey
Curiali.
Curiali was drafted. Alex Sayer, Mason Pelio, Jack
You want to hear a
Jasiak.
crazy story about Michael Curiali?
Let's hear it.
His brother is one of, if not one of my best friends
Wow.
at my university at Cal Lutheran.
That's
He goes to Cal Lutheran with me. And I found that I saw Curiali, and I was like, wait a minute, that's crazy. Here's Mooney with 2 outs. First pitch he sees. He'll chase. 0-1 the count.
Things get weird in the baseball world. And
They do.
That people just know everybody. Like, I got to come here, and it's very friendly going to Cape Cod games, but just being on the field talking to Matt Shaw and Nigel Belgrade from Maryland before on the Bourne side, it's tremendous.
0-2 the count now as Mooney chased on a breaking ball that missed outside. So I hate to ask you your future plans, as we could be just one strike away from this inning, but it's currently a freelancer doing stuff out in Long Island. Here's the 0-2. As it one hops the plate, 1-2 the count. But correct me if I'm wrong, Long Island, that's the
Yes.
freelance stuff you're doing now?
I'll tell you right now, don't graduate, don't leave Cape Cod. It's not fun. But just starting to get the ball rolling and hopefully end up in a minor league baseball situation next summer.
1-2 is cut on and missed for strike 3. Hunter Furtado strikes out the side as we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. 2-0 the score. Folks, that was Matt Levine, former Falmouth Commodore broadcaster and soon-to-be Major League Baseball broadcaster.
Thank you
Matt,
so
you got
much.
the talent and you got the personality. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you
We'll
so
see you
much.
soon. Roll doors. We'll see you at the All-Star game tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, it'll be fun. Thanks for having me.
You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Falmouth Commodores Radio Network. Welcome back to Doran Park, along with Carter Bainbridge, Logan Soforenko here. Great to hear from Matt Levine. Got to meet him for the first time today. Gave myself, Carter, and Trey so much information about what to expect on Cape Cod. But such a different season. He talked about it, 36 games, very different than a 44-game season this year. First pitch to Eblin is ripped into right field. Brutcher giving chase in right. He dives, and did he make the catch? He did! Drew Brutcher with that 6'6" frame laying out and gets Bryce Eblin, robbing him of extra bases. One gone here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Quite a few of those web gems this year.
And I guess as the hitting goes for Brutcher, better this month and improving, so too does the defense.
So now here's the first pitch to Mac Horvath. It misses outside and gets away from a catcher near eye. Brutcher's made a few. Pinckney's made quite a few. Chestnut has made realistically one we've seen that was a high leverage situation. Bases loaded against these Bourne Braves. 1-0 the count, and here's the pitch from Watts Brown. That's a low strike that gets called. 1-1 the count. Well, Mac Horvath, guy that's one of the newcomers of the Bourne Braves. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2. But we talked about it in his last at bat, 1 for 10 against the Doors with a solo home run. Watts Brown shaking off near eye, gets a sign, fires the 1-2. And it misses outside, 2-2. Good spot there from Watts Brown.
And he's trying to be careful with a very talented hitter. 18 home runs for Horvath at UNC. The power pedigree.
Here's a 2-2. High pop-up to the left side, twisting towards the spectator area and out of play. We'll do the 2-2 again. Seems the UNC guys out here on Cape Cod, they know what they're doing.
Well, he's also hit 4 home runs so far in just 9 games.
That's
coming
insane.
in tonight. 37 at bats. And he's up there towards the top of the Cape League in home runs. I mean, what's the most anybody has?
2-2 again. In the air to deep center. Pinckney drifting back over his left shoulder. Underneath it, he makes the catch. 2 gone. Here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. No stranger to summer ball, though, Mac Horvath. He was in the New England College Baseball League last year. New England, that College Baseball League also has 9 regular season games left. They just had their all-star game on Martha's Vineyard. So now here's Matt Shaw with 2 outs. First pitch he sees from Watts Brown is a breaking ball that catches the strike zone, 0-1. And you heard Matt Levine say it, Matt Shaw is quite a guy. And you don't just have to hear it from him. Anyone on Cape Cod can say that. Here's the 0-1. Chop foul, 0-2. He singled back in the first. Was the first of 2 Braves hits that inning. And they have not had a hit since, and they have not reached since that inning. 0-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Way upstairs as it got away from Watts Brown. 1-2 the count. Well, Watts Brown searching for his 4th strikeout. Big strikeout guy with Long Beach State. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Chopped slowly to Mooney at short. Halter cuts Mooney off, and he's going to eat it as Matt Shaw has himself an infield single with 2 outs. And now here comes Evan Slight.
Left fielder, number 27.
And that's the scary thing about Matt Shaw. He doesn't have to drill a double off the wall or steal 2nd and 3rd once he gets on base to do a lot of damage. He can make a difference even just with a swinging bunt fielded by Jaron Watts Brown off the mound, or to this time, Colby Halter over at 3rd base. I mean, Matt Shaw doesn't have to be the guy to carry this Braves team. They have a lot of good hitters, but if Shaw's getting on base and having himself a good game, these guys are just lethal.
Watts Brown comes set and fires to Slight as it misses inside, 1-0. That's really interesting to hear Matt Levine say that in the 3rd inning about the MVP conversation, because that's something you have to consider. They check on Matt Shaw over at first. He gets back in safely. Evan Slight had a run-scoring single back in the first as he asked for time and is granted time by home plate umpire Michael Farman.
Well, in terms of contributions and for how long he's done it in a bunch of different ways offensively, we don't get a vote, but he would be my pick.
1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. It misses outside, 2-0. Probably him. That's who I would say would be my front runner as well. Trying to think of the Eastern teams. If Connor Markle, if we were to give one to a pitcher, that guy's been insane with YD.
YD's got a couple different pitchers you could say that about.
2-0 the count. Watts Brown lengthy set and fires. Breaking ball, catches the strike zone, 2-1. Well, we saw the best arm on Cape Cod statistically in Bryce Warwicker in Orleans. 0.4 ERA. But Evan Slight hitting .321 has a 2-1 count in favor of him. Here's the pitch. Foul behind home plate, 2-2.
I think if you're talking about just a well-rounded player, though, it's the guy at first base.
It has to be Matt
Plays
Shaw.
a demanding defensive position, only 2 errors, most doubles in the Cape League, highest batting average.
Hit for the cycle.
5 home runs, 19 RBIs, and we've seen him play a lot. I don't think there's very much debate at this point.
Now 2 for 2 on the day already, but 2-2 the count on Evan Slight. Watts Brown comes set, doesn't check on Shaw as he takes off. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. And that's that. We go to the top of the 4th inning as Watts Brown gets his 4th strikeout. 2-0 the score as you're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Falmouth Commodores Radio Network. Back here at Doran Park, 2-0 the score. Bourne leads over the Falmouth Commodores, along with Carter Bainbridge, Logan Soforenko here. Colby Halter leading things off for the Commodores. And the Doors need something offensively, just one hit. So Halter has that lone hit. He was back in the 1st inning. Did so on 6 pitches. Furtado on to work for his 4th inning, I should say, as the first pitch to Halter misses inside. 1-0. Halter, one of the best hitters on the Commodores statistically. Here's the 1-0. He's quickly ahead 2-0. He's drawn quite a few walks facing the Bourne Braves. Colby Halter hitting .235 against Bourne. 17 at bats, 2 doubles, walked twice, and has struck out 3 times. 2-0 the count. Here's the pitch. Inside, but it's called the strike, 2-1. Something that Halter didn't really want to swing at, no matter what the count was.
Well, lost in the shuffle of this game with Watts Brown and talking about the Falmouth offense.
Here's the 2-1. Not enough break on that breaking ball. 3-1 the count.
I was going to say, Hunter Furtado's had a pretty good start to this game. Through 3 innings so far, only 1 hit allowed. No walks so far, 3 strikeouts.
Here's the 3-1. He runs the count full on Colby Halter. And those 3 strikeouts came in order in the top of the 3rd inning.
He's only been here with this Bourne team since the start of July. This is only his 4th start, but 2 of that out of the 3 coming into the evening had been very, very good. Both 5 innings, quality outings.
Payoff pitch is cut on and missed. Foul tip into the catcher's mitt of Alan Espinal for the 4th strikeout in a row by Furtado. 1 gone.
Left fielder number 9 out of Arkansas, Jace Borfin.
Well, Furtado's last start was 5 scoreless innings against the Brewster Whitecaps on July 16th, and he's off to a pretty similar start here. His pitches are working, good fastball. He's thrown the breaking ball for a strike at the bottom of the zone a couple different times. It's just been hard for the Doors to adjust.
Here's the first pitch to Jace Borfin as he'll look at a breaking ball that catches the strike zone, 0-1. Jace Borfin grounded into an inning-ending double play back in the 1st inning. Bourne 2 runs on 3 hits, Commodores with 1. Borfin fouls that one off of Espinal as he falls down to the ground and slow to get up. 0-2 the count now on Borfin. Alan Espinal making his 2nd appearance against Falmouth, right behind home plate. We hope he's okay. Bourne did have another new catcher that the Commodores saw just about a week ago, was Tomas Frick. That is their backup catcher should Alan Espinal not remain in this game. But he's pointing towards, we don't want to assume, but just around any part of his body, because that's what happens when you get hit as a catcher. That you put your body at risk.
We've talked a lot about Espinal's offensive numbers, and to be sure, they haven't quite been there this summer. He did have a good game against Falmouth over at the Gov, but this guy just doesn't make a lot of mistakes defensively. Only 2 errors this summer. You imagine he calls a pretty good game, can control the running game, and if you do those things as a catcher, you're going to play more often than not. Just an unfortunate side effect of the position is occasionally you catch some stingers off the bats of the hitters.
Well, he's back behind the dish for an 0-2 pitch and uses his body again to block that pitch. 1-2 the count. Shook off the trainer and said, I'm staying in this ball game. But the 2 errors, especially as a catcher, decision-making so crucial. Furtado from the windup has struck out 4 in a row. Gets the sign. Here's the 1-2. Pulled down the right field line and foul. Orphan a little ahead of that one. We'll do the 1-2 again. But Hunter Furtado has retired the last 6 batters in a row. Andrew Pinckney waits on deck. Furtado from the windup and fires the 1-2 again. Swing and a miss. It's the 5th strikeout in a row from Hunter Furtado. 2 gone here in the top of the 4th.
That curveball so far for Furtado today has some fangs. I mean, how often do you see Chase Borfin take swings like that? Way out on his front foot, practically spun himself into that left-handed batter's box trying to reach that pitch.
In his first 21 at-bats, he only struck out 3 times.
No slight to Borfin. It's just been a plus offering from Furtado today.
Low pitch outside to Andrew Pinckney. He went around, according to first base umpire Steve Kalenda. 0-1 the count.
Just hope that Pinckney didn't cool off.
Yeah,
Take
exactly.
his time away. This guy's torn up left-handed pitching this summer.
Here's the 0-1 to him. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Furtado is feeling it right now.
Looks like he's got a changeup, too, that he's been throwing off the plate to right-handed hitters.
He did that with Pinckney the first time up, back in the second inning, I should say. Here's the 0-2 pitch. It misses outside, 1-2. And it was on 4 pitches. Got Pinckney to chase and ground out to Matt Shaw at shortstop. Commodores trailing by 2 here in the top of the 4th inning. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Ground ball left side. That's a foul ball. About 2 inches to the left of the third base chalk. We'll do the 1-2 again. And something that Bourne and Falmouth are no strangers to is close plays down that third base line. You talk about that Guff Fuller matchup last week. Really close play and a lot of controversy there.
There were a lot of calls in that game, in that Falmouth-Bourne matchup that could have gone either way for either team, and both squads had some gripes coming out of that one. You just don't want him to tarnish what was a very, very well-played game.
1-2 again. Swing and a miss. Furtado, with 6 strikeouts in a row, sends this thing to the bottom of the 4th inning. Bourne leading 2-0 over Falmouth as you're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Falmouth Commodores Radio Network. Well, back here at Doran Park, along with Bainbridge, Logan Soforenko here 2-0 ball game. Chris Brito leading things off for the Bravos. First pitch he sees, misses outside, 1-0. Chris Brito, 3 for 3 last night. He scored a run in the Wareham game. Here's the 1-0. And he'll look at ball 2 outside, 2-0 as it misses, according to home plate umpire Michael Farman. That game last night on New England Sports Network. Here's the 2-0. 3-0 quickly on Chris Brito as it misses inside. Second time the Bourne Braves were on Nesson this year.
And they've still got another one coming up.
Yeah. 3-0 catches some strike zone, 3-1. Of course, the 2022 Cape Cod Baseball League All-Star Game is tomorrow, and it will be televised on Nesson. 3-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Brito draws ball 4. 5-pitch at bat, and here comes Carson Jones. We talked about it a lot in the beginning stages of this game, Carter. Chris Brito draws ball 4 quite a few times. That is his 24th walk of the season.
Entering the evening, he had 10 more walks than any other Braves hitter. He's a very disciplined guy. Drew 38 this spring at Rutgers in 54 starts, but also hit over 300 out with the Scarlet Knights. This guy's a complete hitter and always a very tough out.
So now here's Carson Jones. First pitch he sees is in there for strike 1. 0-1 the count. Carson Jones, the Hokie from Virginia Tech, had a 1,200 OPS this past spring. Numbers are absolutely insane. 0-1 the count. Watts Brown set, fires the pitch. Popped up foul behind home plate, 0-2 the count. And Carter, when you talk about OPS, Mike Sirota of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks has an insane OPS since coming to Hyannis, around 1,400 through his first couple of games with the Harbor Hawks.
And just for reference, if you're not really familiar with that stat, 700 is average.
Yes.
That's where you want to be. If you're below average and so on.
0-2 is in there for strike 3. He twists up Carson Jones for the 5th strikeout of the day for Doran Watts Brown. One gone here in the bottom of the 4th.
Josh Moylan.
So it'll go down as a swinging strike. But Mike Sirota only saw 11 games with the Brewster Whitecaps and has been a big part of the Hyannis offense since coming over. So now here is Josh Moylan. First pitch he sees, misses outside, 1-0. Moylan was the second strikeout for Doran Watts Brown. That came back in the 2nd inning. Moylan has struggled this season in the average category, 162, but he does have a couple of long balls. Here's the 1-0. Nice breaking ball from Watts Brown, 1-1 the count.
After a leadoff walk, you imagine the calculus is changing a little bit for Doran on the mound. After a shaky first, he knows he's got to be at the top of his game watching Hunter Furtado pitch on the other side.
Absolutely. Time has been granted by home plate umpire Michael Farman after Watts Brown was working quickly, and Moylan not necessarily ready in that batter's box, but Doran Watts Brown wants to speed this tempo up. 1-1 the count. Brito takes his lead at first. Here's the pitch. Ground ball right side. That's a foul ball off of Jacob Walsh's glove. So the count now 1-2 to Moylan. Chris Brito's been stagnant over there at first base. Not really a base-stealing threat, but he runs the bases pretty well. He put the ball in the outfield. He could end up at third base.
You can be a good base runner without being fast.
Absolutely.
You can always remember that. Of course, this Braves team does like to run.
Here's the 1-2. Chopper foul towards the Falmouth Bat Kids well. And we'll do the 1-2 again.
And if you're a manager, I should say, watching Watts Brown on the mound, you know he's trying to focus and stay at the top of his game with Furtado pitching so well on the other side. You can mess around with the runners a little bit, try to break his concentration, try to catch him focused in on the hitter and ignoring the runner.
1-2 again. Oh, that's a strikeout. Doran Watts Brown gets his 6th strikeout of the day. It's the second backwards K for Doran Watts Brown. And he went to his sweet pitch, the breaking ball. Realistically and specifically, the slider.
And that's already tied a season high for strikeouts for Watts Brown. He's had 6 twice already this season, and now a 3rd time tonight. We're not even done with the 4th inning yet.
So now here is Wyatt Hensler. First pitch. Breaking ball again. Strike one.
And that's a difference maker. If he can start throwing a breaking ball for a strike, either the curveball or the slider, it's going to make a big, huge difference against these Braves hitters because they can't just stay on the fastball. It keeps them honest. And if it's good, which it looks like it is, you can get some looking strikes and looking strikeouts.
Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. You talked about it tying his season high with 6 strikeouts. He did that here at Doran Park the last time he pitched against the Braves. But he's got Wyatt Hensler in a hole quickly. He struck him out back in the 2nd. Hensler at risk of going down for the 24th time this season as Watts Brown comes set. Shadows coming in. They check on Brito at first, and they got him! They picked off Chris Brito. That's the first time the Falmouth Commodores have picked off a runner. And we go to the top of the 5th inning, 2-0 the score. Falmouth trails as you're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Falmouth Commodores Radio Network. Back here at Doran Park, where the Commodores trail the Bourne Braves by a score of 2-0. Peyton Stovall leading things off. Hunter Furtado, who's been dealing, fires strike one as Peyton Stovall goes around. 0-1 the count. Furtado has struck out the side in back-to-back frames. But Doran Watts Brown just picked off Chris Brito. That was the first pickoff that was successful this season. 0-1 is chopped slowly. It's in play down the first base line, and it's a foul ball. Alan Espinal touched that ball in fair territory, and the home plate umpire, Michael Farman, calls it a foul ball as Jeff Trundy will go talk to the home plate umpire. I'm not really sure why this was called a foul ball because Alan Espinal touched this thing in fair territory.
I was about to say the exact same thing. I think Ryan Eiley and Jeff Trundy have a pretty legitimate gripe there.
I think everybody in the ballpark saw that he touched it in fair territory by about a couple of inches. Ryan Eiley, the first base coach for the Commodores, Jeff Trundy, the field manager, saying it was fair.
Now that's a tough play for Espinal to judge because it's a split-second choice between letting that ball roll and seeing if it goes foul or trying to do something with it right away and throwing Stovall out.
And they call him safe, and now we're going to have an argument from the Bourne side. And they're saying that it was a dead ball. So for the second straight contest, the Bourne Braves and the Falmouth Commodores with a lot of controversy on the umpiring side.
Well, that's what Scott Landers is trying to argue, but I don't think he's going to win this one. Very, very rarely is that call made. Much more often do you see plays like that picked up and then fair and the throw not made in time.
Well, Scott Landers has been ejected this season once. And stepping into his place was assistant coach Jared Saltalamacchia. Landers still talking to Michael Farman. And now all the umpires coming in. And they're going to talk again.
I would be surprised if they go back and double down on the original call.
Well, if he is safe, how do you rule it? You rule it a single or an E2? I mean,
Infield single.
even if he had fielded it, he would have beaten that out. Stovall was hauling down that first base line.
Espinal didn't do anything wrong. He just had to make a difficult choice that I think at that point when he picked up the ball, there was no way for him to win.
Absolutely. Tough play no matter what. And it's the second time we've seen that today. First time came off the bat of Jacob Walsh, who is waiting to get his at-bat. So after the umpires break up for the second time, Stovall will still remain at first base. And now home plate umpire Michael Farman pulling out a book out of his back pocket. Landers very, very convinced that this is a dead ball.
Was he trying to argue that it was foul?
Yeah, maybe. Jacob Walsh walking around that lefty batter's box, kind of rolling his eyes. He just wants his at-bat.
Well, if Landers thinks that ball was foul, he might be the only one on the field right now who did. Everybody else jumped into action with full vision that that ball was fair.
Alan Espinal not too upset with that call as well. But nevertheless, it's the first time today the leadoff man has reached for the Falmouth Commodores. And they're going to rule
First
that
baseman, number 33
an infield
out of
single.
Oregon, Jacob Walsh.
So now here's Jacob Walsh after a lengthy delay. Tough play. Jacob Walsh grounded to Chris Brito the last time he was up. First pitch he sees is in the dirt. 1-0 the count. Walsh, a 177 hitter. More and more shadows coming on the field. Here's the 1-0. Ground ball right side. Into right field, a base hit. Stovall around second. He'll stop there. The Doors have runners at first and second with nobody out. Now you know why Jacob Walsh wanted to get into that batter's box.
And for Walsh
Right
this
fielder,
season,
number
who has
16
struggled
out of South
quite
Florida,
a bit
Drew
against left-handed
Bruncher.
pitching, that's just his second hit against a lefty in now 35 at bats this summer. But if you're Scott Landers over in the Braves dugout, you're gnashing your teeth a little bit because, of course, that happens after a disputed play.
Absolutely.
The next guy up gets a base hit, and now your starter's in his first jam all day.
So now here's Drew Brutcher. First pitch he sees is in the dirt again. 1-0 the count. Coming off of back-to-back innings for Tato, striking out the side. He's given up back-to-back base runners for the first time today. But the shadows are right around the first base side here at Doran Park, at least on the infield, and a little bit of shadows out in left field towards the line. But the left fielder, Evan Slight, playing behind the shadows. Peyton Stovall at second, Jacob Walsh at first. 1-0 the count to Drew Brutcher. Here's the pitch. Sweeping breaking ball is inside, 2-0. And that's a spot that Furtado has really relied on, left-handed hitters, I should say.
Inside corner and at the knee level today. Low strikes using the inside corner well, but just missed that time.
2-0 the count. Here's the pitch. 3-0 now. Daniel Neary waits on deck. Brutcher, who has a couple of home runs this year to every part of the field. Way up in right, right over the wall in right, then left center. Opposite field 3-run bomb against Hyannis. Here's the 3-0. Brutcher looks at strike one. 3-1 the count.
Well, if you're Furtado and Espinal right now, you've just got to get on the same page. And if you're Furtado, you just get down to think outer half, think down, and throw your fastball because you've got a double play combination on the bases no matter which way you do it. Not a lot of speed on for Falmouth.
3-1 the count. Furtado will reset on the mound. He's checking on Stovall quite a bit. Saw it when Stovall was on in the second. Here's the 3-1. Brutcher rips one into right field, a base hit. Peyton Stovall is given the stop sign at third base by Brett Becker, and the bases are going to be loaded with nobody out. Now here comes Daniel Neary. 3 singles in a row for the Commodores. Daniel Neary has his first big moment with Falmouth. Stovall reached on the single at third.
Catcher number
Walsh
18 out of
at
Notre Dame,
second.
Daniel Neary.
And then Drew Brutcher at first, all reaching on singles. The Bourne Braves do have action in their bullpen, and we're going to see a quick little mound visit. It's a lefty on lefty, so you have to think more than likely than not, Furtado would stay in.
Yeah, you've got your instinct versus the numbers right now, because the first 3 hitters in this inning are all left-handed. Stovall, Walsh, and Brutcher, but 3 straight singles against Furtado, who was cruising coming into this inning, had sat down 8 in a row and 6 consecutive via strikeout. The Doors as a team have not hit well against left-handed pitching, and Neary in particular has only had 7 at-bats on the summer. So if you figure there's a chance here to get the first out and begin to stymie this rally, Neary at the plate right now is a good one to pick.
First pitch he sees is in there for strike 1, 0-1. Coming into this at bat, 1 for 8 on the year, 4 strikeouts and 1 walk. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch. 1-1 as it's upstairs.
Doesn't surprise me that they left Furtado in, given their starter a vote of confidence, but he's also got to locate here. Can't mess around with the bases loaded and nowhere to put Neary.
Furtado from the windup with the bases loaded. Here's the 1-1. Another breaking ball, but it misses up. 2-1 the count. Really relying on that breaking ball with lefty batters.
And it was working better in the earlier parts of this game, but so far in this inning, he hasn't been able to get it down in the zone. And that's a big problem for a breaking ball, especially of that speed.
2-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Neary swings and misses at that one. 2-2 the count.
And that's what it looks like when you do get it down, especially against a left-handed hitter. Like you said, he's been giving him fits with that pitch today.
Took a lot off that one right there.
I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back to it here on 2-2.
It's been working for him today. He's got 6 strikeouts. 2-2 the count. Here's the pitch. He tried it again, but not enough snap. And the count's run full. Or as you like to say, bite.
Well, he's got a decision to make now, does Furtado, because 3 of the 4 curveballs in this at-bat have missed. Does he go to the fastball or does he go to it again?
Bases loaded. Top of the 5th inning. Nobody out. Furtado started his windup, but time was granted by Michael Farman, the home plate umpire. Here's the pitch. Popped up to the right side. Brito giving chase in foul territory. He makes the catch. No advancement from anybody. 1 gone. Ryan Eiley talking to Michael Farman, saying that
Designated hitter
the
number
starting
6 out of
pitcher,
TCU,
Furtado,
Boyers.
went a little too fast in that at-bat. Tough inning for the crew today.
I'm not sure I saw anything like that in that at-bat. Neary did call time, perhaps just wanting to try to reset the pace. But a big first out for Furtado on that pop-up. Executed a pitch when he had to.
First pitch to Boyers. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Boyers coming into today 4 for 39. Struck out swinging back in the 3rd inning. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Big breaking ball. Didn't catch the strike zone. 1-1. That was a good spot from Furtado.
But still just a little bit high. You know, occasionally you're not going to get the call from an umpire if you leave a breaking ball leaking up in that part of the zone.
Bases loaded. Here's the 1-1. Good block by Alan Espinal as Furtado spiked it. No advancement by anybody. 2-1 the count now.
He's taken a bit of a beating in this game, but you see the skill set. Saved a run with that good of a block.
You talked about how he's limited his errors with just 2 this season. Wasn't the primary catcher at Vanderbilt, but saw some action with the Commodores.
And you think about how much these catchers have to throw in this a running league. Having that few amount of errors is very impressive.
2-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Another block. This time it gets away from him, and Peyton Stovall's going to score. It's 2-1. Jacob Walsh advances to 3rd, and Drew Brutcher advances to 2nd, and the count's at 3-1 in favor of Luke Boyers. Well, with how wacky this inning has been, it's only fitting that Peyton Stovall scored the first run like that.
And it's a tough one for Furtado and company because Boyers at the plate coming into the evening is hitting just 103. So this is a guy who they probably looked at and thought we could get out for the top of the order and have Mooney up with 2 down, but you spoiled that with a wild pitch.
Here's the 3-1. Swing and a miss, counts run full. So Alex Mooney waits on deck. No double play ball right here, at least the traditional one. 5-4-3, 6-4-3. No force over there at first, or at second, I should say.
Infield in at the corners, too.
Here's the payoff. Chopper foul towards the Bourne dugout. We'll do the 3-2 again. Well, when there is no double play ball, sometimes that's the route you take. Put your infielders on the edge of the grass. Bourne with a 1-run lead in a 2-1 ball game. Here's the payoff again. Swing and a miss. Boyers goes down chasing. 2 gone here on the top of the 5th, and now here comes Alex Mooney. Strikeout number 7 for Furtado.
Shortstop number 4.
That's what he's been looking for in this inning, to get a batter to chase way out of the zone. Again, the breaking ball's been working very well for Furtado tonight. He's lost the feel at times this inning, but came back with a good one there to Boyers, although the threat not over.
Mooney 0 for 2 on the day. Here's the first pitch he sees. Breaking ball misses outside, 1-0. And that's been his bread and butter. Going to the breaking ball on righty hitters on the outside part of the strike zone. That's how he got Mooney to chase back in the 3rd inning. Furtado still from the windup. Here's the 1-0 pitch. 2-0 now. Brutcher at second, Walsh at third. 3 straight singles to start this inning off. Only one coming in through the first 2 outs. 2-0 the count. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 2-1 now. Mooney took a big cut at that one.
And again, the Braves have to be thinking, when are we going to get a break from the umpires when we play Falmouth? Going back to the last game at the Gov as well.
Furtado from the windup fires. Mooney sends this one the other way, and it gets down for a base hit. Jacob Walsh in to score. Brutcher right behind. Mooney rounds second. He wants third. He is in there safely. He's given the wave by Brett Becker. The throw to the plate is not in time. An inside the park home run for Alex Mooney. It's now 4-2 Falmouth. How about that? My goodness, there's his first home run on the road of the season.
Well, you knew right away when Mooney struck that ball and Carson Jones and Wright took a chance on a diving play and missed, that it was going to be a good outcome for Falmouth. But I don't think Mooney expected to come all the way home when he started chugging for third. Only when it was not fielded well out in right did he get the wave all the way to home plate. It's now 4-2.
So now here's Colby Halter. He'll look at ball 1. My goodness.
First one of those we've seen this summer for Falmouth.
The inside the park home run goes down as a 3-run shot. And they don't rule it an error. Here's the 1-0. Halter, a little excuse me swing. Furtado gloves it. Fires over to first, and Halter is retired, but not before the Commodores put up a 4 spot. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. 4-2 the score. Falmouth now leads, as you're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Commodores Radio Network. Back here at Doran Park, where the Commodores now lead the Bourne Braves by a score of 4-2. Along with Carter Bainbridge, Logan Soforenko with you. First pitch to the leadoff man for the Bourne Braves. Wyatt Hensler is in there for strike one. Hensler gets another at bat after they picked off Chris Brito to end the fourth inning. Here's the 0-1. 1-1. No, they're going to call that a strike. 0-2 the count. Hensler saw two pitches back in the fourth. He sees two right here. But nobody on to get picked off. Here's the 0-2. Little spiker, 1-2 the count. Well, you and I were talking about it during the break, how that was not ruled an error by the right fielder Carson Jones. And it was indeed an inside the park home run for Mooney. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Missed outside. 2-2 the count.
Well, as hard as it could be to prove and as difficult to play as that was in right field to see as it developed for us from our vantage point, I was surprised after Mooney came home that there was not at least one error on that play.
Yes. Here's the 2-2. Misses outside, counts run full.
Of course, when Jones dove for the ball initially, that's never an error. That's just a chance that he took. He gambled on the play, didn't come up with the great catch, but it was slow to come in. And when you see that, you usually look up and expect there to be a bobble or some kick the ball by accident.
Payoff pitch is chopped slowly to the left side. Halter fields it in foul territory, wisely so. He still throws out Wyatt Hensler, but we'll do the 3-2 again.
You can see Scott Landers stew over there in the Bourne dugout a little bit on another ground ball down the line, but no gripe because Hensler would have been retired anyway.
Well, Hensler crossed first base, and he said safe. He thought he was safe no matter what.
You can see him smiling a little bit as he comes back to the plate. I think he knows he just got lucky.
Oh, the beauty of summer ball.
But going back to the Mooney play just one more time, first inside the park home run we've seen for any game that we've been a part of this year. Falmouth are opposing teams. First time we've seen it done for or against the Doors.
Payoff again. He got him looking. The 7th strikeout for Doran Watts-Brown. That's a season high for the righty from Long Beach State.
Espinal.
And he's got the breaking ball working well. That was the pitch he used to Hensler, right at knee level.
First pitch to Alan Espinal is in the same spot, but it's called a ball. 1-0 the count. Not a carbon copy of that strike three to Hensler. 1-0 to Espinal. That misses outside, 2-0. I can't figure the strike zone out tonight. You have to wait a little bit. It's good spots from Doran Watts-Brown. Here's the 2-0. 3-0 quickly on Alan Espinal. Well, the shadows turning into shade here at Doran Park. All of left field in the shadows. Here's the 3-0. He walks Alan Espinal. No, they call strike one. Whoa. The Bourne coaching staff is letting him hear it. Salta Lamakia coming in. Scott Landers walking around. It's one of those days.
I don't think that was too far off other strikes in this game, but it was a little bit too late for Bourne's liking.
And the counts run full.
Well, that one was more straightforward. Like, Watts-Brown's been close in this at bat. I could understand the first two that missed.
Here's the payoff. That misses outside as Watts-Brown walks Alan Espinal with one out. And Watts-Brown wanted strike three there. A little bit of frustration from Doran.
Yeah, but more frustrated with himself for not hitting the spot as you see him tap his chest, talking to Danny Neareye behind the plate.
Second baseman, number 2 out of Alabama, Bryce Edlin.
Partly frustrated because now he has to face this top of the order again. Couldn't get the second out with the number 9 hitter. We've talked about Espinal's offensive numbers. And now you got to face a bunch of guys who have been hitting a lot better than Espinal has.
This top of the lineup for Bourne has been spectacular today. Matt Shaw, 2 for 2. He's batting third in this lineup. First pitch to Edlin. Runner takes off. And Danny Neareye not even going to throw down a second as he lost the handle. It's ball one as it was inside. 1-0 the count to Edlin.
The Braves have figured out fairly quickly in this game that there must be something that Neareye does behind the plate where they feel comfortable that he won't be able to throw guys out. Another stolen base for these Braves, already the third today.
1-0 the count. Watts Brown comes set, fires. High pop-up, twisting towards the line in foul territory. Borfman giving chase, and it drops in foul grounds. 1-1 the count. Boy, Jace Borfman using his tall frame. I know he wasn't actually jogging over there, but it just looks like it with how much ground he covers. Likewise with Brutcher.
It's so nice to see him back in the outfield, though. I mean, you hate to hear that a guy is dealing with some pain, as he told us after the Harwich game.
More than one injury in the past, 8 months, we should say? The shoulder in Arkansas and the knee here on Cape Cod. Watts Brown comes set. Checks on Espinal at second. Looks back at home. Then Espinal again fires the 1-1. It's a breaking ball, and that's in there for strike 2.
It's just a hammer of a curveball that Watts Brown has working for him tonight. And he knows it because he's throwing it an awful lot. I mean, he's talked to you about how he likes to use the fastball, but
he also told me how he wants to work the curveball in more and more.
He's done just that.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. 8th strikeout for Doran Watts Brown. And there are 2 gone here in the bottom of the 5th.
We're probably approaching a season high for strikeouts for any Falmouth pitcher. I know Drew Summers had 9 in a game.
Center fielder number 21
back against
out of
these
North
Bourne
Carolina,
Braves
Matt
earlier this
Horvath.
month, or late June rather.
June 30th, that was the first Nesson game of the summer. So now here's Mac Horvath with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Another nice breaking ball from Watts Brown. 0-1 the count. Well, Mac Horvath has hit the ball extremely well with the Braves, but he's 0 for 2 on the day. Reached on an error back in the first and flew out to center field in the third. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch. That misses outside, 1-1. Notice how I waited a little bit more, because that was a good spot, and we've seen that actually get called for a strike today.
As this game goes along, you probably want to do that a little more just to avoid those no strike calls or whatever it is.
Watts Brown comes set and fires. That's strike 2, right down the pipe. And Watts Brown wants another strikeout. Will be the 3rd of this inning. Espinal over at second. He drew ball 4 with 1 out on 6 pitches. Watts Brown comes set. Checks on Espinal at second base and fires. Swing and a miss. Doran Watts Brown is dealing 9 strikeouts through 5 innings, and we go to the top of the 6th inning. Falmouth on top, 4-2, as you're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Falmouth Commodores Radio Network. Well, back here at Doran Park, we are in the top of the 6th inning. The Doors lead 4-2 over the Bourne Braves, along with Carter Bainbridge, Logan Soforenko with you. Hunter Furtado's day is done. Rob Adams on to pitch another lefty for the Bourne Braves as Jace Borfin will lead things off. Here's the first pitch to Jace. That's in there for strike one. 0-1. Well, 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs. Here's the 0-1. Borfin looks at ball one just a little low. Hunter Furtado did not walk a batter. Gave up 1 hit batsman. He struck out 7. Here's the 1-1. Popped up, foul out of play. 1-2 the count.
Another 5-inning start for Furtado. He's now done that 3 out of the 4 times he's started in a game this summer. But now here's Adams, 6'4" lefty from Southeastern University in game number 4 for the Braves this summer.
1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Borfin looks at ball 2 outside. 2-2. Well, Borfin 0 for 2 on the day, grounded into an inning-ending double play back in the 1st and struck out swinging in the 4th. Here's the 2-2. Did he go around? He did. First strikeout for Rob Adams. And now here comes Andrew Pinckney with 1 gone in the top of the 6th inning. The sun is basically down here at Doran Park. Second time Borfin's gone down swinging today.
Well, he's had to face 2 pretty tough lefties. Furtado was really on his game, and Adams has a sidearm delivery that's going to be tough for left-handed hitters to pick up.
First pitch to Pinckney. Misses low, 1-0 the count. Well, this has been a game that has featured a lot of controversy, an inside the park home run, a lot of strikeouts, everything you want on a red shirt Friday. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. It one-hops Espinal, 2-0 the count.
Adams actually last pitched against the Doors. It was July 15th, exactly a week ago. He pitched an inning, no runs, a hit, a walk, no strikeouts in that magnificent game played out of the Gov, the 4-3 final score that we've talked a lot about tonight.
Coming from the windup, lefty on righty. Here's the 2-0. That's low, and that's strike 1. 2-1 the count. Oh, man. These are tough. 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Here's the 2-1. 3-1. And you talk about that magnificent win because that sparked a good stretch of games for the Doors. 5-out save. Great game. Colby Halter hit a home run that hit off the top of the wall and bounced out. Here's the 3-1. Andrew Pinckney draws ball 4 with 1 out. And now here comes Stovall.
Pinckney just continues to see the ball very well off of
Second
left-handed
baseman, number
pitching.
10, out of Arkansas.
Entering the night, he was hitting
Stovall.
.381 against Southpaws. So far today, 0 for 2, but a walk there. He didn't look fooled by any of the offerings that Adams showed him. And now here's Stovall, who was involved in that controversial play in the 5th inning to get things started in what ended up being a 4-run rally for the Doors.
He's got a runner at first. Stovall in the lefty batter's box. Rob Adams, the lefty. Here's the pitch. That ball gets away from the catcher, Alan Espinal, and Pinckney is advancing to second. Takes a big turn around the base, and he'll get back over there at second, standing up. 1-0 the count. And Alan Espinal went to retrieve that ball, and he was frustrated.
Has a quick word with Adams now. A couple steps in front of home plate just to go over things on what was surely a passed ball as well. Nothing wild about that. Espinal got a glove, but definitely possible that Adams just crossed him up.
Peyton Stovall, 1 for 1 on the day. That's single, and he was hit by a pitch back in the 2nd. Adams comes set, checks on Pinckney at second, and fires the 1-0. That was disgusting. And that's strike 1. You talk about that sidearm delivery. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, it's tough for left-handers to pick up, and if he can hit that spot at the bottom of the zone, Stovall's not doing anything with that.
Especially tough for a lefty on lefty, especially. Adams comes set. Not checking on Pinckney. Now he does. Looks back at home, looks at Pinckney again. Checks on him 3 times and fires the 1-1. Stovall fouls this one behind home plate, 1-2. Well, that walk that Andrew Pinckney just drew, it's the first walk issued by Bourne Braves pitching to a Commodore today. Obviously, we saw Peyton Stovall get hit by a pitch, but haven't seen ball 4.
And that's news because the Doors are up at the top of the league in walks. They typically do that a lot on the offensive end.
They're second in Cape Cod with 140. Pinckney gets his lead over there at second. Here's the 1-2. Misses outside, 2-2. They trail the Wareham Gateman in that category coming into today by just 1 walk. Wareham enters with 141.
Speaking of Wareham and trailing, though, the Gatemen are down 11-1 at Red Wilson Field to the YD Red Sox.
Figured that game could get called very quickly because we're losing daylight and they don't have lights out there. Adams checks on second and fires. 2-2 is grounded up the middle. It's cut off by the second baseman, Eblin. He fires over to first and retires Stovall. Pinckney advances to third, and he'll stay there with Jacob Walsh coming to the plate with 2 outs.
First baseman, number 33, out of Oregon, Jacob Walsh.
Against a tough lefty and a guy who was hitting the bottom of the strike zone. That's about as good a result as you could hope for from Stovall. Obviously, a base hit would be better, but you at least advance Pinckney to third base against a guy who already threw a passed ball and threw 13 wild pitches in 18 appearances this spring.
Oh, we saw a run score on a wild pitch, so nothing guaranteed tonight. Lefty on lefty, first pitch to Walsh. It's a sweeping breaking ball that misses basically in the dirt. 1-0 the count. Jacob Walsh, he talked about it, his second hit back in the 5th inning off the lefty pitcher. The first one came in an inning a week ago where Peyton Stovall had his first hit against a lefty pitcher on back-to-back at-bats. Here's the 1-0. That ball gets away from Espinal, and now here comes Pinckney. It's now 5-2 Falmouth. You just said it. It was bound to happen. A wild pitch, a passed ball in this game, and now another wild pitch. We'll see how they rule that. But nevertheless, the Doors have a 3-run lead now.
That one, to me, definitely looked like a wild pitch. I think the other was a pass ball on Espinal. But for Adams, who has that funky angle and has had trouble communicating with Espinal today, you figured that that may happen. He's a guy who spikes some balls from time to time.
Here's the 2-0. That's in there for strike 1, 2-1.
So the Doors manufacture a run. A walk, a passed ball, a ground out, and then a wild pitch.
So now Adams will work from the windup. He fires the 2-1. And it misses low, 3-1 the count. I had to hold my breath there because that's a low strike that has been called today. Drew Brutcher on deck, should have get to him. Here's the 3-1. Ground ball right side. Eblin moving to his left, gathers, fires over to first, and retires Jacob Walsh. But the Commodores get another run on a wild pitch. It's now 5-2 Commodores on top as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Falmouth Commodores Radio Network.
off the sixth for Bourne.
Back here at Doran Park, we were in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Shaw.
Jaron Watts-Brown had a fantastic outing, but it comes to an end after 5 innings. Likely so, how it usually does on Cape Cod. 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned. He walked 2 and struck out a season-high 9 batters. He yields to Garrett Coe.
Coe, the big 6'6" left-hander out of Lakeside, Connecticut.
First pitch to Matt Shaw. Figure is into left field for a base hit. The kid stays hot. He's 3 for 3 on the day. Well, Garrett Coe, lefty on righty, outside part of the strike zone. Shaw did not even wait around, and I'm looking over to the right of our table. Matt Levine, he's enjoying that base hit.
He's probably seen a lot of at-bats like that during his time at Maryland, where Shaw has been just an excellent player from day one. Big Ten all-freshman team last year, first team all-Big Ten this year, and today at Doran Park, now 3 for 3.
First pitch to Evan Slight from Garrett Coe as he checks on Shaw and fires a breaking ball and misses inside. 1-0 the count. Well, Garrett Coe, the last time he faced the Bourne Braves, he gave up that home run to Mac Horvath, as Horvath had his ridiculous start to the season. Shaw takes his lead at first. Coe checks on him. Stares at him for about 5 seconds and fires the 1-0. In the air to shallow left center field. Pinckney to his right. Makes the catch. Heading back over to first base is Matt Shaw. 1 gone here in the bottom of the 6th. And that's going to bring up Chris Brito.
First baseman, number 28,
Just a little bit
out of
more on
Rutgers,
Coe before Brito stands in. Coming into the evening with 7 games, a 3.08 ERA and 11 2/3 innings, 12 strikeouts, 14 hits, 8 walks. His last appearance at Orleans was a scoreless outing. He walked a couple, though. And his last time against Bourne did give up 3 earned runs in 2 2/3.
Garrett Coe fires back at first base to check on Matt Shaw. The Doors did pick off a runner today for the first time this season. Throws back over to first again to check on Shaw. Doors have been picked off quite a few times this year. The worst one I can think of is Alex Mooney losing his foot and getting back to the bag. He would have been safe. Garrett Coe checks on Shaw. He wants him there at first as he fires the first pitch to Brito, and he takes a hack at that one and comes up empty. 0-1 the count.
That's now a pretty different look than what these Braves saw with Watts-Brown on the mound. High-powered righty arm now gives way to a fastball changeup lefty who rarely touches 90.
0-1 is sent over our heads, foul out of play. 0-2 the count. Well, you mentioned the velo, not necessarily high. He relies on his spots. He's working quick here as he comes set. Fires over to first to check on Shaw again. That's the 3rd time they've checked on the Maryland shortstop. The 0-2, Shaw takes off. It's a ball low, and they're not even going to throw down a second. Matt Shaw swipes second base, and he's in scoring position with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Is that his second one today? He's been swiping them, hasn't he?
For Shaw, that is his second. So 3 for 3 with 2 stolen bases.
Coe comes set. Brito the batter. Lefty on righty. Here's the pitch. Popped up foul. We'll do the 1-2 again. Chris Brito today had a sac fly back in the 1st. Walked on 5 pitches in the 4th. Coe comes set. Checks on Shaw. He takes off. The throw. Not even going to be there as the pitch is spoiled foul. Hit and run was on there. Chris Brito wanted that ball in play.
And that's the way these Braves play. Even when they're down 3 in a game, their MO is stealing bases, putting the ball in, or the game in motion, I should say, and putting the ball in play as they do it. Puts a lot of pressure on the defense, and as we know for Falmouth, that defense hasn't always been sound.
Coe checks on Shaw again. Matt Shaw living rent-free in not just Falmouth pitchers' heads, but everyone on Cape Cod. But Chris Brito wants a run scored here. Shaw with a big lead. Here's the 1-2 again. Swing and a miss. Brito goes down via way of the K. 2 gone here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Right fielder, number 25, out of Virginia Tech, Carson
Already
Jones.
Coe in this game looks a little sharper than he was the last time we saw him at Orleans. He came out of the pen and immediately walked the first 2 batters he faced, one for a run with the bases loaded. So far today, hitting spots better and just blew Brito away with an elevated fastball.
So now here is Carson Jones, the right fielder. First pitch he sees. Gets behind the catcher Neareye for ball 1. No advancement from Shaw. 1-0 the count. And Carson Jones was out there in right field where Alex Mooney hit that inside the park home run. We talked about the sense of urgency about getting the ball in. It just wasn't there. Brett Becker, the third base coach for the Commodores, saw it, gave Mooney the wave. 1-0 the count, though, in favor of Jones here. Here's the pitch. Good spot there from Coe, and he gets the call. 1-1 the count.
It goes without saying that there was a lot that happened on that play. You know, Jones made a really solid diving attempt that if he comes up with it, it's a highlight defensive play for the season. Unfortunately, just couldn't quite get the angle, complete it.
The 1-1 is sent in the air to left center field. Pinckney coming in, moving to his right. Underneath, it's still drifting. He makes the catch. Matt Shaw stranded at second base as we go to the top of the 7th inning. Falmouth leads by a score of 5-2 over the Bourne Braves as you're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Falmouth Commodores Radio Network. Well, we're back here at Doran Park along with Carter Bainbridge, Logan Soforenko, with you here in a 5-2 ball game where the Doors have a 3-run lead over the Bourne Braves. Drew Brutcher steps into the batter's box to lead things off here in the 7th inning. First pitch he sees is in the air to left center field, or I should say the left line as it gets out of play, 0-1. That is foul territory. It's not left center field. Brutcher today 1 for 2. A single and a ground out. He's behind the count here, 0-1. Here's the pitch. He will look at ball 1 low, 1-1 the count. On to work for his 2nd inning is Rob Adams. The Doors got 1 run in the top of the 6th inning via a wild pitch to extend their lead. Here's the 1-1. Brutcher looks at ball 2, 2-2. He's able to lay off, or 2-1, I should say. That's one of those where if this was the first week of the season, Brutcher's swinging at that pitch. 2-1. That's a strike. 2-2. Loud pop from the glove of Alan Espinal. Waiting on deck is Daniel Neareye. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Brutcher looks at ball 3 low, and the count's full.
For a couple different hitters on the Doors, we've seen the numbers climb as they start to take more pitches. Just as you watch their at-bats, they're spitting on pitches down low in the dirt that would have caught him fishing in the early part of the year. Brutcher's done that a couple times in this at-bat.
Here's the payoff. Brutcher sends this one to left center field towards the gap and dropping, and it looks like it hit the ground first, and it gets behind the left fielder's slight. Brutcher's into second with a leadoff double. There goes Brutcher again, swinging that hot bat. 2 for 3 on the day now.
Catcher number 18.
Well, over the
out of
last
Notre
10
Dame,
games
Daniel
coming into
Murray.
the evening, no Commodores hitter has been hotter than the guy who now stands at second base. Drew Brutcher over his last 10, hitting .378, including a home run and 6 driven in. That swing just a part of it, going oppo on a full count. Just a good approach, good execution, and you're starting to see real talent out of this guy, the rising junior out of South Florida.
Neareye shows bunt here. Infielders coming in. Here's the pitch. He pulls it away. 1-0 the count. Waiting on deck is a pinch hitter, Anthony McKenzie, coming in for Luke Boyer's spot. Chris Brito ready for that bunt at first base. He is coming way in. Neareye shows bunt again. Here's the 1-0. He pulls it away as he looks at strike one. 1-1 the count.
Well, they can ask Neareye to bunt all they want, but this is a tough assignment any way you try to cut it. Against a very tall, funky throwing left-hander, you're trying to square up, and it looks like he's almost throwing the ball at your head as it comes out of the hand.
He shows bunt for the third pitch. He pulls it back, swings, back pick over to second. Brutcher's in safely. 1-2 the count now. Well, Daniel Neareye struck out back in the third, popped up to the first baseman Chris Brito back in the fifth. That was with the bases loaded. Behind in the count, 1-2 here. Wouldn't show bunt here with 2 strikes. Adams comes set, checks on Brutcher twice, and fires. Swing and a miss. Disgusting pitch from Rob Adams. 1 gone here in the top of the 7th inning.
Designated hitter number 6 out of TCU.
That's why hitting left-handed against
Correction.
Adams is just so tough, because not only does he have the height, he's got
Pinch
some
hitting
good
number
break
1
on his
out of Sam
pitches, and he's got
Houston,
that
Anthony
unusual
McKenzie.
arm angle. You had a feeling watching Neareye try to bunt in that at-bat that it was going to be hard for him to do something. Couldn't get the bunt, and then asked to swing on the first pitch. Goes down swinging. Just an unfortunate consequence, but it's going to be a tough out for these left-handers against Adams for as long as he's in.
Well, when one switch hitter goes to the bench, another one steps into the batter's box, that being Anthony McKenzie for Luke Boyers. McKenzie in the righty batter's box with the lefty Adams. Adams comes set. Checks on Brutcher once. Brutcher gets about 2 more steps to his right. Here's the first pitch. McKenzie looks at ball 1. 1-0 the count. We're here in the top of the 7th inning. 5-2 the score. Falmouth lead. 1 out, 6 hits for the Doors, 4 for the Braves. At the top of the lineup, and Alex Mooney waits on deck. Rob Adams gets his sign from Alan Espinal. Comes set. Checks on Brutcher. Brutcher bluffs. And that's a strike to McKenzie. Alan Espinal thought about back-picking Brutcher again, but he held the ball. 1-1 the count.
Brutcher has decent speed, but you wouldn't expect him to be going. He doesn't run a lot. Meanwhile, McKenzie at the plate's actually hitting from his better side. This summer he's been better as a right-handed batter than left, hitting .211 in only 19 at-bats against southpaws.
1-1 the count. Here's the pitch. That's strike 2 on the outside part of the plate. 1-2 the count. And that's funny you say that, because in the lefty batter's box, that's when he hit his lone home run of the season at Spillane Field in a 12-9 victory over the Wareham Gatemen. But he's got to defend with 2 strikes here. Brutcher over at second on a leadoff double. Here's the 1-2. He takes off. It's in the air. And Brutcher's got to get back to second base. It trails into right field. Eblin can't make the catch. He twists around like a pretzel. And there's 1 gone here in the top of the 7th inning as McKenzie reaches. And they're looking around for an infield fly rule. And we're not going to get it.
Shortstop.
So
number
runners at
4
first
out
and
of Duke,
second with Alex Mooney into the batter's box and 1 out.
Sometimes better to be lucky than good. That a all but certain pop-up off the bat of McKenzie. Just plunks down in shallow right center, as neither Eblin nor Jones could make a play on that. Shaw also in the mix, but none of them could make a decision in time.
So now here's Mooney with 1 out. Here's the first pitch. Mooney shows bunt. He pushes it to the first base side, but foul. 0-1 the count. We saw something like that in Orleans where he showed bunt, sent it to the first base side. The first baseman came in so far that nobody was covering the first base bag. Mooney, the last time he was up, had the inside the park home run. He's got runners at first and second with 1 out. A double and a single. Adams checks on the base runners. Here's the 0-1. That gets away from Alan Espinal, and both runners are going to advance. Brutcher's at third. McKenzie's at second. 1-1 the count now. That's probably in the mixture of pass balls and wild pitches, it's probably the 4th time we've seen that happen tonight.
And it's happened now 3 times since Adams has come into the game. Threw both a pass ball and a wild pitch in his last inning. That wild pitch did score a run back in the 6th, and now he has another to put runners at second and third and only 1 down.
1-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Mooney grounds one foul towards the Bourne Braves dugout. 1-2 the count. And I couldn't get a good look at it, but one of the Bourne Braves players with his jersey not visible had his back turned to that ground ball and came close to his feet.
Mooney's just trying for another ground ball, fair this time, but he's going to have to get it through a drawn-in Bourne infield.
About the 3rd time we've seen the Bourne defense on the edge of the grass. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Mooney gets drilled. Got him right on. He grabs the hand, takes off the Evo shield, then he'll head down to first base as the bases are going to be loaded for Colby Halter. And this is a game, Carter, where the Bourne Braves were actually controlling it as far as pitching.
Baseman, number
And
7,
now
out of
the
Florida,
Commodores
Colby
got
Halter.
things rolling here.
Well, going into the 5th inning, that's exactly right. It was 2-0 Bourne after a pair scored in the 1st inning by the Braves. But ever since that play down the first base line by Peyton Stovall on that ground ball, things have changed. And you hate to have a call like that looked at as the time when things kind of shifted in a game momentum-wise, but to this point, especially if the Doors go on to win today, that's going to be the case. Falmouth went on to score 4 in that inning, and ever since then, they've been playing a lot more loosely, taking better at bats. And now they got a chance to break this thing wide open with the bases loaded and Colby Halter about to take his rips.
Well, we talked about how last week Colby Halter had a home run that hit the top of the fence and bounced out for a home run. And you said he has the ability to go the other way, sending it to left field, but every long ball has been to the pull side, in the words of Carter Bainbridge. Rob Adams had his first mound visit from his pitching staff. Mound visit all concluded. Now here's Halter with the bases loaded and 1 out.
This is the last guy I would want to face right now if I'm Adams. Combination of power and average here for Colby. No Falmouth hitter in the month of July has hit more home runs.
Halter will represent the Commodores in the All-Star game tomorrow by being the starting third baseman. 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. Bases loaded. Here's the pitch. Halter looks at strike 1. 0-1 the count. Well, the Falmouth Commodores have not had a grand slam this year. We've seen a couple on Cape Cod. Bourne had a walk-off grand slam against the Chatham Anglers here at Doran Park. 0-1 the count. Adams comes set. Lefty on lefty. Here's the pitch. Halter swings right through that pitch. 0-2 on Halter. Halter today 1 for 3. A single back in the first. Strikeout swinging back in the 4th inning. And he grounded to the pitcher back in the 5th inning and was retired. Jace Borfin waits on deck. Brutcher at third. McKenzie at second. Mooney at first. Adams comes set. 0-2 the count. Top of the 7th inning. Here's the pitch. Halter sends this one in the air to left, twisting towards the line, and making the catch on a dive is Evan Slight. Brutcher goes back to third to tag up, and he will score. It's a sac fly for Colby Halter, as it's now 6-2. No advancement from McKenzie or Mooney. And now here comes Jace Borfin with 2 outs.
We saw one aggressive fielding attempt for Bourne fail today. That was the Carson Jones dive on the Alex Mooney inside the park home run, but that was a chance that Slight took out and left that ended up paying off. If that ball gets by him or it falls, at least 2 score.
Time is granted by home plate umpire Michael Farman to the catcher Alan Espinal. But absolutely, and that was one where he tracked down all the way to the very end. McKenzie at second, Mooney at first, Jace Borfin the batter. Rob Adams still working from the stretch. Checks on McKenzie twice and fires the first pitch. Borfin looks at strike 1, 0-1. Jace Borfin 0 for 3 on the day, a pair of strikeouts and a double play back in the first inning. That ended the frame. Borfin hit his first home run at White House Field just 2 nights ago, and it was crushed. 0-1 the count. Sun fully set. Here's the 0-1. Borfin, did he go around? He did not. He checked his swing. 1-1 the count. We talked about it, Carter, how wacky that delivery is from Adams on lefty batters. Perhaps that's why Borfin checked his swing, and he left that bat there to show that he did do just that. Chris Brito, the first baseman, playing behind Anthony McKenzie. 1-1 the count, 2 outs, 6-2 ball game. McKenzie over at second. Here's the pitch. The 1-1 gets in there. 1-2 the count now. So Borfin's got to defend here with 2 strikes. Falmouth with a 4-run lead, but we haven't seen any type of blowout this year. So the Doors really want to open this thing up here. Still plenty of baseball left, however. This will be a big pitch here from Rob Adams, who entered this game in the 6th inning to face Jace Borfin as his first batter. The 1-2. That missed outside, 2-2 the count. Andrew Pinckney waits on deck. That's a guy that likes seeing left-handed pitching. Pinckney with 4 home runs on the season, 2 of them coming off lefties. McKenzie on at second, he gets his lead. He reached on a single. Mooney was hit by a pitch. He's at first, he gets his lead. 2-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Borfin makes the count full now. Well, Jace Borfin came into today with just 1 walk.
He stared at 2 pretty good pitches on 1-2 and on 2-2. Those are wipeout offerings, lefty-lefty, that would get a lot of hitters. But Jace has drawn his fair share of walks lately. He's been seeing the ball very well, and that's what makes this upcoming pitch so important with the runners about to go.
3-2 the count, 2 outs, runners go. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. Borfin goes down as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. The Doors get another run. It's 6-2 Falmouth. Don't go anywhere as you're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Falmouth Commodores Radio Network. Welcome back to Doran Park, along with Carter Bainbridge, Logan Soforenko here. We are in the bottom of the 7th inning. Josh Moylan, Wyatt Hensler, and Alan Espinal will get things going for the Braves. First pitch to Moylan, misses low, 1-0. Garrett Coe on for his 2nd inning of work. He faced 4 batters back in the 6th. It was a scoreless frame. Here's the 1-0. Ripped foul down the right field line, 1-1 the count. Well, Carter, the Falmouth Commodores would like to win this ball game heading into the All-Star break, going 6-1-1 in their last 8.
Not only would they like to win, they'd like to polish this one off without things getting too close.
The 1-1 is in there for strike 2, 1-2 the count. Well, you talk about that Wareham game. They trailed the Windy Red Sox by 10. That's over at Red Wilson Field. Here's the 1-2. Moylan fouls that one behind home plate. We'll do the 1-2 again. And certainly that game is final now because of the daylight. Wareham trails the Commodores by 5 points. And if the Doors win this game, they'll go up by 7. Here's the 1-2. That misses inside. 2-2 the count.
So if you're a Doors fan, not only do you want Falmouth to win, but you ought to be watching the scoreboard and rooting for Wareham to keep losing.
In the air to left field. Borfin moving to his right. He makes the catch. 1 gone. Now here comes Hensler.
Third baseman, number 13, out of Penn, Wyatt Hensler.
So Wyatt Hensler, who has struck out twice today, will look to get something for offense for the Bourne Braves. Away from that leadoff single by Matt Shaw in the 6th inning, they have not had a base hit since the 3rd. Until right now, as that one's into left field for a base hit. Wyatt Hensler has himself a 1-out single here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Well, you told me, Carter, in the break that you, what they call you, Mr. When you said you were planning something, we were predicting a series when there was a pass ball that scored. You told me that someone called you something.
No,
I'm the opposite of what they call you.
It was just a joke, and it was Mr. Crystal Ball.
Mr. Crystal Ball. That's what it is. As a pinch runner comes in.
Number 9, out of East Tennessee State, Ryan Enos.
So Enos from East Tennessee will come in.
But you haven't needed anything like that to predict what Hensler is going to do against these Commodores. This season he has been great hitting-wise against the Doors. You know, the average is down in the low 200s for the summer, but entering the night, a .357 hitter in 4 games against Falmouth.
Espinal shows bunt and pulls it back. 1-0 the count, I should say. Enos from Tennessee will pinch run for Wyatt Hensler over there at first. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. That's in there for strike 1. 1-1 the count.
And Enos can definitely steal a bag. He had 26 over at SUNY Oswego this spring. But Coe's responsibility right now is to not let Enos bother him. He just has to focus on Espinal, the number 9 hitter, and avoid letting there be 2 guys on base for the top of this Bourne order.
Well, time has been granted. There's a delay on the right side of the field as the first base coach for the Bourne Braves goes and checks on it. But nevertheless, 1-1 the count. And they're waiting for the Bourne Braves coach to get back in the first base coach's box. A lot of time being granted tonight. Coe ready to attack Espinal. Here's the 1-1. Espinal looks at ball 2 high and outside. 2-1 the count. The Bourne Braves, 16 wins, 13 losses, and 6 ties with 38 points. They're behind the Cotuit Kettleers in the standings by 3 points in the Western Division. Hyannis sitting comfortably up in the top spot, leading Cotuit by 3. 2-1 the count. Here's the pitch. In the air to shallow left center field. Coming in is Pinckney. He cuts off Borfin and he makes the catch. 2 gone here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Well, it's a big second out for the sole reason that now you give the top of this order less breathing room. Eblin's a decent table setter, and then you got the big 4, Horvath, Shaw, Slight, and Brito. behind them. We talked a little bit before this game about the Falmouth lineup and how we kind of like the look of it. A lot of guys who have been here a long time and have produced, and it's got some all-stars in there. For Bourne, it's kind of the same way. They have their guys at this point, and they are playing them regularly.
And it's that top of the lineup. So now here's Bryce Eblin, and they got Enos hung up over there at second, and they tag him out at second. Mooney applies the tag, and we go to the top of the 8th inning. 6-2 the score. Falmouth on top as you're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Falmouth Commodores Radio Network.
No, it's not an error.
Back here at Doran Park, we're in the top of the 8th inning along with Carter Bainbridge, Logan Soforenko with you. Great ball game tonight. The Doors in comeback fashion, putting up 6 unanswered runs. Rob Adams' day is done. 2 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. He hit a batter. He yields to Justin Willis, who is wearing number 42 today. He usually wears number 8. He's facing Andrew Pinkney, as Pinkney will get his 4th at bat of the day, his 3rd statistically. First pitch he sees, he'll look at ball 1 outside. Of course, I say that because of the walk that he drew back in the 6th inning.
Willis, right-hander out of North Bergen, New Jersey. Just finished up his senior spring at UConn, where he pitched in 24 games, all in relief.
Here's the 1-0. Good breaking ball as that is a strike, 1-1.
So far with the Braves this summer, this is 6th appearance, entering the night with a 4.9 ERA in his first 7 1/3 innings, 5 strikeouts, 4 hits, 4 walks, and 4 earned runs over those 7 1/3.
The 1-1 is chopped towards the Falmouth on deck circle where Peyton Stovall waits. 1-2 the count. Well, the Falmouth Commodores will have 5 All-Stars tomorrow in Wareham. Joey Ryan, Andrew Pinkney, Colby Halter, Alex Mooney, and Philip Abner. Colby Halter will start at third. Andrew Pinckney in center. Here's the 1-2. Pinckney able to check his swing on a breaking ball that was spiked in the dirt. 2-2 the count. It's good to see Pinckney back today because that means he'll be in the lineup tomorrow in Spillane.
It was a pleasant surprise to see him as we rolled up to Doran Park, got out of the parking lot and saw him walking towards the field before he was dressed.
Justin Willis, lengthy time getting the sign from Alan Espinal. Finally gets it and fires a 2-2. He froze Pinckney, and that's strike 3. One gone here in the top of the 8th inning. That's actually the first time the Falmouth Commodores have struck out looking today.
Second baseman, number 10.
They've swung on every strike 3 coming into the 8th inning.
Doors have had some strikeout problems this season. They've been better as the season has worn along, but Willis with some nasty pitches in that sequence. And he's got an unusual pre-pitch routine that we've seen now.
As Stovall looks at strike 1.
Through 2 batters, I was about to say.
Tell me why I'm thinking Craig Kimbrell. He doesn't get the look, but he's got the ball in his hand, though. Kimbrell had the ball in his glove and did the, how do you describe it? I don't even know.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Crouches low with his shoulders parallel to home plate.
Here's the 0-1. And misses upstairs 1-1. He basically hangs the arm, and sometimes it works for him. Craig Kimbrell had a pretty good couple of years with the Red Sox and kind of fell off the face of the earth and is now having a good year with the Dodgers. 1-1 the count on Stovall. 1 out. Here's the pitch. Stovall looks at ball 2 outside. 2-1 the count. Stovall 1 for 2 on the day. Ground out back in the 6th. Singled in the 5th inning and was hit by a pitch back in the 2nd. Falmouth Commodores have been hit by, or I should say hit twice by a pitch today. Here's the 2-1. Stovall's able to check his swing. 3-1 the count. As Jacob Walsh waits on deck, sees a sign from some of our interns that says, "I heart Walsh," and Walsh reads it and throws a heart sign back up. Just 9 games left in the regular season, 8 after today. Game number 36. Here's the 3-1. Little heaters in there for strike 2. Counts full. We've seen a lot of full counts today. Haven't seen too many ball 4s, though, for the Falmouth Commodores. Just 1. Coming set is Willis. He fires the payoff. Line to the new third baseman, Enos. And there are 2 gone. Enos came in as a pinch runner.
Fans, if you
So now here is Jacob Walsh.
Now is the time to get out your tickets. We will be announcing the winners in the middle
Enos
of the
came in
inning.
for Wyatt Hensler.
50 tickets out now, please, and thank you.
And now here is
Now
Jacob
batting
Walsh.
First baseman number 33 out of
I think I have to do that at one of the visiting ballparks. I got to buy the 50-50. Some good prizes with that, not for not that much money. Of course, Falmouth Commodores, they have the wingspan one.
Can't win if you don't play.
Exactly. First pitch to Walsh, 1 hops the catcher Espinal. 1-0 the count. Well, we talked about how we have a little bit of a standoff with the Falmouth and Bourne Bat Boys. The Falmouth Bat Boy wins the race to get that foul ball behind home plate. Here's the 1-0. Walsh looks at strike 1. 1-1 the count. But back to my point about the third baseman. Wyatt Hensler exited this game after he had reached in the 7th inning. Time has been granted by home plate umpire Michael Farman. The Bourne Braves will have the top of the lineup due up again in the top of the 8th inning. Evelyn, Horvath, and Shaw. Here's the 1-1. It misses outside and goes all the way to the backstop, 2-1. And just like the Falmouth Commodores home stadium, Go Fuller Field, brick behind home plate here at Doran Park.
And it makes a difference on balls that go to the backstop. Either you get a hard bounce, much harder than you would if it's just a chain link fence, which we've seen at a couple parks around the league.
Here's the 2-1. Walsh looks at strike 2, count even. And that plays a factor because sometimes a pass ball at Go Fuller just within half a second will go right back to the pitcher. 2-2. Here's the pitch. And the counts run full. So Jacob Walsh just trying to reach and extend this inning with Brutcher waiting on deck. Doran Watts-Brown went 5 strong. Garrett Coe threw 2 full innings. Here's the payoff. High drive to deep right field. Jones giving chase. He looks up and it is gone. Jacob Walsh. His 5th home run of the season. It's now 7-2 Falmouth in the top of the 8th inning.
Well, you had a feeling that after a while, Walsh would be due for another one. It had been a minute since he hit his 4th. And this is a good place to do it if you're a left-handed hitter in the power department anyway, because the right field foul pole is only 300 feet down the line. And that ball that Walsh just hit was more towards the pole than not. No cheapie by any means. That's an important insurance run for the Doors.
So now here's Brutcher. He'll look at ball 1 low, 1-0 the count. Well, Jacob Walsh, he's got the power. Hasn't hit a home run in a while, but he sat on that hanging breaking ball and belted that thing. Here's the 1-0. That's in there for strike 1. 1-1 the count. Well, it's weird how Doran Park works because about 20 feet over is a 360 sign in right field. But you talked about the pole. It just cuts in because there's basically a hill. Here's the 1-1. Brutcher looks at ball 2 outside, 2-1.
First home run for Walsh in 15 games. His last one was July 3rd when the Doors beat Katuitt at the Gov.
That was where he hit home runs in back-to-back games, if I'm not mistaken. Here's the 2-1. Brutcher will look at ball 3 outside, 3-1.
The day before that, it was at this ballpark at Doran Park. He hit one against the Braves. So
something about that right field area.
If history repeats itself, I can't wait until tomorrow.
Here's the 3-1. Count full again as that's strike 2. 3-2. The Doors will play here at Doran Park again next week for the final contest with the Bourne Braves. Falmouth hadn't gone to Doran Park for the first 2.5 weeks of the season. Here's the payoff pitch. Brutcher foul tips it into the catcher's mitt of Espinal for strike 3. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. 7-2 the score. Falmouth leads. As you're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Falmouth Commodores Radio Network. Well, back here at Doran Park, along with Carter Bainbridge, Logan Soforenko here. Bottom of the 8th inning, the Falmouth Commodores have been absolutely exploding. They have gone 4 consecutive innings where they've scored a run. That's an offense right there, and they've all been unanswered runs.
And it's what the Doors have to do to keep tacking on insurance, because it seems like lately, no matter what Falmouth does.
First pitch to the leadoff man, Eblin, misses upstairs, as Eblin will get, realistically, another at bat because he had the last out in the 7th inning not come from him. It was Enos. Here's the 1-0. Spiked 2-0.
I was going to say, no matter what Falmouth seems to do, it always seems to end up in one-run games. So entering the evening, the Doors were 15, 17, and 3. Look like they may pull off a win tonight, but in those 35 games, 13 of them were one-run contests.
They would like to break that trend right now. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Eblin fouls that one right off the bricks, 2-1.
It's almost 40% of your games.
That's insane, and especially against Western Division opponents. You were talking about that last week with how many one-run losses the Doors have had, how many one-run wins they've had against Western opponents.
They've tied 3 times.
2 of them against Western Division opponents, one against Katuitt and one against Wareham. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Eblin belts this one deep to right center field. Pinckney feeling for the wall, and he makes the catch. 1 gone here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Well, he had a little bit of room out there at right center field, but that wall is probably about 4 feet high out here at Doran Park. 395 at dead center.
Eblin hit that ball probably between 385 to 390 feet, but just a little bit short of the wall. Again, a good route, good jump by Pinckney to get to that ball that looked like it might have been gone off the bat.
First pitch to Horvath is sent in the air to left field as Borfin is right underneath it. 2 gone here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Well, now here is, doesn't even feel like it in a 5-run game.
Once again, we will be announcing the winners.
Matt Shaw, who is yet to be retired today, steps into the batter's box. It's a big at-bat here, because this could really set the tone whether the 9th inning would be quick or long, or this inning goes on for a couple more batters.
Well, this is a guy the Doors definitely want to retire, but they're doing it in a comfortable way here.
Shaw looks at strike 1. Nothing in 1 the count.
They're facing Shaw with 2 outs and the bases empty, which is the ideal spot to face a hitter of this caliber.
Here's the 0-1. 1-1 the count. Well, he entered today with a .361 batting average, and I'm going to tell you right now, not the best math guy over here, but 3 for 3 coming into today, hitting .361. That's pretty good. Here's the 1-1. Foul behind home plate, 1-2. Garrett Coe entered this game back in the 6th inning, giving up 2 hits. He has struck out 1. How sweet would it be if he's able to strike out Matt Shaw here? UConn and Maryland. That's a matchup. Here's the 1-2. This is down and in, 2-2. Of course, I say that because UConn eliminating Maryland in the regional in Maryland's home ballpark on some controversy. Here's the 2-2. Popped up foul out of play. We'll do the 2-2 again. And it's only appropriate that in a game like today where there's been some controversy that we get a matchup of UConn and Maryland. Coe from the windup fires the 2-2 again. In the air to right, slicing towards the pole, and it's foul by about 30 feet. We'll do the 2-2 again.
It's unlikely that Shaw's going to get another at-bat in this game. If he does, it probably means the Doors have lost a big chunk of this lead. But if this is his last plate appearance, he's getting his money's worth. He's not going to go down easy. Spoiled a couple pretty good offerings from Coe.
Here's the 2-2 again. And misses outside, counts full. Such a tough guy to get out. Garrett Coe trying to send this thing to the top of the 9th inning. Here's the payoff. He walks Matt Shaw with 2 outs. That's going to bring up Evan Slight.
We've talked a lot about Shaw's average tonight, and we've talked a lot about Shaw himself. But what impresses you about his game is that he can keep the average all the way up there without sacrificing other things. Usually when you see guys hitting in the 370s, 380s, stuff like that, they're contact only. They don't hit for a lot of power, but Shaw's got gap power. He's got good speed, and he just showed off the discipline there. He is a complete hitter.
First pitch to Slight is in there for strike 1, nothing in 1. And I think the way you just described him as a complete hitter doesn't get any more perfect because he is complete. He hit for the cycle one time. 0-1 the count. Coe checks on Shaw. Lengthy stare down. Here's the pitch. Shaw takes off. It's a ball that's low. Throw down a second, not in time. It gets off of the leg of Matt Shaw into shallow left center field. and Pinckney gets it. No advancement from Shaw. 1-1 the count on Evan Slight. Good hustle there from Andrew Pinckney as he was sprinting in to make sure that that ball didn't stay out there for too long so Shaw could advance.
And never a clearer picture as to why baseball is a team sport than tonight. Matt Shaw 3 for 3 with a walk and 3 now stolen bases with his team down by 5 runs. He can't do it all.
Here's the 1-1. Slight sends this one into left center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. It's cut off by Borfin. Matt Shaw will score. It's now 7-3 Falmouth. It's an RBI single for Evan Slight. And that's going to bring up Chris Brito. Another Scarlet Night.
You figured the Doors weren't going to hold down the 3rd highest scoring team on the Cape all game long. That's the first run the Braves have scored since that 2-run bottom of the 1st inning off of Jerron Watts-Brown. We were about to tip our caps to Garrett Coe for getting through 3 scoreless relief innings, but this run's going to be a blemish on his record tonight no matter how he slices this last out.
Well, with a lefty pitcher and a righty batter, Mike Landry is talking to Garrett Coe. He's looking down at that bullpen, and he's pointing towards it. We will step aside as Garrett Coe's day is done. His pitching change is coming up soon, but don't go anywhere. 7-3 the score. You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Falmouth Commodores Radio Network. Well, we are back here at Doran Park along with Carter Bainbridge, Logan Soforenko here. Nadir Lewis, the pinch runner over there at first base. Braden Matthews relieves Garrett Coe. Garrett Coe, 2 2/3, 3 hits, 1 run. It was earned. A walk and a strikeout. Here's Chris Brito. Matthews from the stretch. He fires. Brito chops this one slowly down the third base line. Halter with a bare head fires over to first, and it takes a couple of bounces as Walsh keeps it in front of him. And that indeed is one of the harder plays for a third baseman, and that likely will be an infield single for Chris Brito.
As soon as Brito finished the swing, you knew that one was going to be trouble. No way for Halter to make that play. I think there's very few guys in the majors who can make a play like that.
Fielder
Just a
number
swinging
25 out of
bunt up
Virginia
the
Tech,
line.
Carson Jones.
So unfortunate stuff for Matthews, who got soft contact in the first batter, but just a little bit too soft.
So the runner at second belongs to Coe. The runner at first belongs to Braden Matthews, with Carson Jones into the batter's box. First pitch to Jones. Chopper right back to Matthews. He gathers and underhand tosses it to Jacob Walsh. That's that here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Bourne Braves get a run as the Commodores now lead by 4. We go to the top of the 9th inning as you're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Falmouth Commodores Radio Network. Back here at Doran Park, we're in the top of the 9th inning along with Carter Bainbridge, Logan Soforenko on hand. Daniel Neary will lead things off for the Falmouth Commodores. Justin Willis on for his second inning of work. Here's the first pitch. High drive into left center field, but ranging over to his right is Mac Horvath. He makes the catch. One gone here in the top of the 9th inning. Now here is Anthony McKenzie. Well, Carter, this is something of unusualness. The Falmouth Commodores on top by 4 in the latter stages of the game.
Well, you knock wood when you say that, because the Doors have come up with some 9th inning rallies of their own.
Here's the first pitch to McKenzie. Now look at ball 1. McKenzie now batting lefty. His first at bat that came back in the 7th inning, where he singled. He was in the righty batter's box facing the lefty Rob Adams. 1-0 the count. Willis comes set, fires the pitch. Breaking ball is sent into right field, a base hit. Anthony McKenzie 2 for 2 on the day off the bench, as he'll stop at first base with a 1-out single. And now here's Alex Mooney with 1 out.
Well, the Doors can help themselves here with an insurance run. It's still a one-swing game. It's 7-3. The good news for the Doors is that they have an off-ramp in the 9th inning if they choose to take it, because they face the bottom third of the Bourne order. Things will get a lot harder if they have to go around to the top of the order again with whoever's in to finish the game. Probably Braden Matthews at this point.
Well, now Travis Chestnut will enter the game as a pinch runner. You can guarantee that he will remain in the game in the bottom of the 9th inning as the DH, because in left field it's Jace Borfin. Pinckney's back, so he's in center. And then the everyday right fielder Drew Brutcher's out there in right. So now here's Mooney with 1 out. Here's the first pitch. It misses low. Chestnut, a delayed steal. He's into second, and he's in there safely. It only took 1 pitch for Travis Chestnut to swipe a bag, as he's now in scoring position.
I think when Travis Chestnut arrived on this team from Temple College, I think his addition was a little bit unheralded. We didn't really know what to expect from him. We knew he was transferring to Texas A&M, but he has provided a big spark at the bottom of the lineup. Not starting today, but making his presence felt here with another steal. He's provided a lot of speed on the bases and some good versatility in the field.
Here's the 1-0. Misses outside, 2-0. And you got to give credit to the absence of Andrew Pinckney. Travis Chestnut filled that void a little bit in the offense. He produced.
And in center field.
Covered a lot of ground out there. Took some great routes. It's a phrase that isn't really talked about for an outfielder. It's a good quality to have. Track down the balls. Here's the 2-0. Good little pitch there from Willis. It's strike one, 2-1.
Willis has had a tight breaking ball since he came in the 8th inning, and we've seen that low strike all day long. For both teams, it's been a consistent call. A lot of these pitchers have exploited it. They've been spotting well towards the bottom of the zone at knee level.
2-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Mooney looks at strike two. Good spot there from Willis. Mooney a little frustrated. It's also good to see Mooney in the batter's box after taking one up and in the last time he was up. Hit an inside the park home run. Came back in the 5th inning. 2-2 the count. Chestnut with a big lead at second. Here's the pitch. He takes off. Chestnut, that is, and he's into third standing up as the pitch gets away from Espinal and bounces about 10 feet up the third base line, and the count's full. There goes Chestnut again.
We'll consider it in the number 9 spot. Jeff Trundy 2, Scott Landers nothing. Because McKenzie, pinch hitting for Boyers, produced a 2-for-2 line, and now Travis Chestnut stands at third, courtesy of his speed, with a chance to increase this lead here in the 9th inning.
Infield coming in. Here's the payoff pitch. Mooney draws ball 4 with 1 out. And now here comes Colby Halter. The Bourne Braves got a run right in the bottom of the 8th inning as the Commodores are going to try and get a run right back in that run. And we're going to see a quick little mound visit. We'll see if that's it for Willis. Movement down in that Bourne bullpen. They're opening the gate so someone can come in. We're going to have a pitching change. 2 on, 1 gone here in the top of the 9th inning. We'll be right back as you're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Falmouth Commodores Radio Network. Back here at Doran Park, Nigel Belgrave will relieve Justin Willis. Willis 1 1/3, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 walk, 2 Ks. Nigel Belgrave has faced the Doors before this year, but he's trying to keep this inning scoreless. Commodores want a couple more runs. Mooney gets back in safely as Belgrave checks on him. And that's usually how a runner gets picked off. They rock towards second, and then they go back to first, not in time. Mooney did just that, but he got in safely.
We've seen 2 Braves runners get picked off on the base paths today. One heading back into first and one between first and second in a pickle.
There's Mooney again, rocking towards second and getting back in safely. Second time in a row, Belgrave has checked on Mooney. Well, Belgrave, a lot of appearances this year, 2-0 record. This is his 10th appearance. He's had 3 saves, 10 2/3 of work, 7 strikeouts, 6 walks, and 7 hits. Mooney takes off. Halter fouls this one behind home plate, 0-1. Both of these runners belong to Willis. Well, if the game were to end right now, Watts Brown would be the winning pitcher. Hunter Furtado would be the losing pitcher. This is not a save situation. But Halter 0 for 1 on the day. Sac fly, a single, strikeout, and a ground out to the pitcher. 1 for 4, but he has driven a run in. Mooney over there at first. They throw back again. A little bit closer as Brito actually got the first base umpire, Steve Calenda, to vocalize the word safe. Top of the 9th inning. Travis Chestnut over at third base. He came in as a pinch runner for Anthony McKenzie, who singled with 1 out. Alex Mooney drew ball 4. He's over there at first base. Belgrave comes set. Fires the 0-1. Inside, 1-1. Well, the Doors had a 6:03 first pitch, 8:56 Eastern Standard Time, approaching the 3-hour mark of tonight's ball game. Mooney with not a big lead, but he is the team leader in stolen bases. Belgrave checks on Mooney and comes set. Checks on Mooney and throws over at first, and he's back in safely. That's the 5th time Belgrave has checked on Mooney. And look at how dirty, you can't, obviously our radio listeners can't see it, but Alex Mooney with a lot of dirt on his black jersey. Falmouth with their black road jerseys. The Bourne Braves in their red shirt Friday jerseys. 1-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Halter was swinging for that short porch out there and right with that cut. But he's got a battle with 2 strikes.
Well, this is a high-powered right-hander who Matt Levine told us about, given that he's a Maryland Terrapin in the springtime. Fastball slider pitcher with a 2-seamer as well. And Matt said when that pitch is on, usually hitters look awfully foolish against that offering.
1-2 the count. They throw back at Mooney again. Mooney gets back into first safely, not even diving back this time. Came back in standing up. Don't really see that much.
A couple of these at first have been a little closer than needed. But credit to Belgrave for having a quick move.
Here's the 1-2. Halter looks at ball 2, high and tight, 2-2. Doran Park does not have a radar gun, but Belgrave is throwing some heat. That's coming in pretty hard.
He's really pumping it up there, and his arm action stays pretty close to the body. It's borderline 3/4. He's not a guy who's coming over the top or coming in drop and drive. Just looks like easy gas out of a pretty tight arm slot.
Here's the 2-2. It misses outside, and the count's full. So now the question is, will Mooney take off with a full count and 1 out? The Bourne Braves have been the sloppy ones on the bases. The Commodores have not. But Belgrave has the ability to come back in counts and win battles. He's only walked 6 batters this season. Here's the payoff pitch. Halter fouls this one behind home plate. Will do the payoff again.
I'm not sure if Mooney's going to make a move for second, but he shouldn't.
No.
With Halter at the plate and a runner at third and only 1 down, you've got to give Halter a chance to either drive Chestnut in or load the bases with whatever the pitch is. The last thing you want is to make the second out sliding into second base.
Especially with no extra innings. It would be the last time the Doors offense would be up. 6 pitches in the at-bat. Belgrave comes set, fires over to first. Mooney back in safely again. But he is getting his workout in over there at first. Mooney's been very busy today. Hit by a pitch, he walked, circled the bases, sprinting for an inside-the-park home run. Halter with a lengthy at-bat here. The payoff again. Another foul ball. Good AB here from Halter. The starting third baseman in the 2022 Cape League All-Star game.
Well, not only do you keep Mooney guessing over there at first base and less likely to go with every throw over, but you're also really testing the concentration of Halter at the plate, having to stay engaged with a lot of throws over, a couple foul balls, and he's just waiting for pitches to try and hit.
3-2 the count. Here's the payoff again. Another foul ball, this time the other way, over the press box or concession stand and merch shack. The merch shack actually I think is located behind home plate underneath the press box, but the concession area and the bathrooms are located right behind the Bourne dugout on the third base line. But Halter has been working here. They're looking for him to pull. Here's the payoff again. Halter looks at strike 3. Colby Halter goes down looking on a pitch that was below his knees.
Well, the Braves had a complaint about a similar call earlier
Left
in this
fielder
game
number 9
that
out of Arkansas.
was not only
Chase
borderline
Morgan.
on the zone, but also came in late from home plate umpire Michael Farman.
He's having a tough night back there.
Bourne gets one back on that call, a pitch that I think was just a little bit low on Halter.
So now here's Jace Borfin with 2 outs and 2 on. Another throwback over to first base where Alex Mooney has just been waiting there. Chestnut 90 feet away. 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning. 7-3 ball game. Borfin the batter. Here's the pitch. That's in there for strike 1, 0-1.
I still think Halter walks away from that at bat without calling it a failure, because even though he struck out, the inning isn't over, and he gave Jace Borfin such a long look at Belgrave from the on-deck circle with all the foul balls and throws over.
Borfin swings and drives one to left field. Going back is Slight. He can't make the catch. It's off his glove as he crashes into the wall. Chestnut scores. Mooney right behind. Jace Borfin drives in 2. It's now 9-3 in the top of the 9th inning. Well, to your point, Borfin got a good look off of Nigel Belgrave. Both those runs will come into score as they're charged to Justin Willis.
Out of Arkansas.
But
Correct,
now
Alabama.
here is Andrew Pinckney.
And that's an underrated part of the game. And Halter put up a good battle in that at bat. Borfin had plenty of pitches to prime himself on. And as we knew coming into the day, Jace has been swinging a hot bat to begin with.
Pinckney looks at ball 1 inside, 1-0. Well, that's the insurance the Commodores needed right there, because that kind of takes the life out of the Bourne offense. Bourne will have 7, 8, and 9 due up in the bottom of the 9th inning. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Discussing arm slot there from Belgrave, because Pinckney was ready to swing the bat the second it left Belgrave's hand, but that pitch was elevated on Pinckney.
A little bit of deception to it with Belgrave. The ball certainly gets in faster on the hitters than they probably expect, just watching him wind up.
Here's the 1-1. In the air to shallow left center field. Coming in is Horvath. It's down for a base hit. Borfin rounding third. He's in to score, standing up on an RBI single from Andrew Pinckney. It's 10-3 Falmouth in the top of the 9th inning. Welcome back, Pink.
Well, we speculated on whether or not he would be rusty after a couple days off, or he went home to Georgia for the draft. But now he's back in Falmouth, 1 for 4 with a walk today and a run driven in. You'll take that, especially after a little bit of a layoff. And What you'll take even more is what's now a pretty solid drilling of your division rival in the Bourne Braves.
Falmouth can extend their lead over the Wareham Gatemen to 7 points, which would translate to 3.5 games, essentially. First pitch to Stovall. Misses outside, 1-0. Well, just 8 games left after today. Points are points. 8 games left means there are at most 16 points up for grabs. Here's the 1-0. It's in there for strike one, 1-1. Well, the Commodores will see the Wareham Gatemen on the second to last matchup of the regular season. That'll be at Spillane Field. 1-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Little chopper to the right side. Eblin fires over to first and retires Stovall. But the Doors get 3 as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, as the Commodores look to head into the All-Star break on the right foot. We'll be right back as you're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Falmouth Commodores Radio Network. Well, we're back here at Doran Park. The Falmouth Commodores lead the Bourne Braves by a score of 10-3. The Commodores have put up runs in 5 consecutive innings. Josh Moylan will face Braden Matthews for the first time today. Here's the first pitch from Matthews. Nice breaking ball, 0-1 the count. The Doors putting up a 3 spot in the top of the 9th inning. Commodores have the All-Star game tomorrow, the off day Sunday, and are in Hyannis on Monday. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch. That misses outside, 1-1. Moylan today 0 for 3, a pair of strikeouts, 1 swinging and 1 looking. Fly out in the 7th. This is his 4th at bat of the day. 1-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Chopped off of the catcher's mitt of Daniel Nerai. 1-2 now.
And as we said, maybe lost in the shuffle of that 3-run top of the 9th, that the Doors have an easy way and they have a hard way to deal with this bottom of the 9th. Either Matthews can close it out against 7, 8, and 9, or he can face the top of the Bourne order again.
1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Moylan checked his swing on a pitch in the dirt. 2-2 the count.
Of course, we're used to much more pressing situations with the Doors. As we said, they've already played 13 one-run games this year, 3 ties, and many more 2-run games that we didn't even factor into that equation.
2-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to the right side. Stovall coming in, fields it, fires over to first. Moylan's retired. 1 gone here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And now here is the pinch runner that came in for Wyatt Hensler. Ryan Enos is actually thrown out on the bases, but he's got to get something going for Bourne as they trail by 7.
It's just been that kind of day for Bourne. You look up and down this lineup. A couple guys have been picked off on the base path. They've had some wildness on the pitching side.
First pitch to Enos. In the air to left, coming in is Borfin. He dives, and he makes the catch! Jace Borfin, coming in on a dive, makes a spectacular catch, and there are two gone in the bottom of the ninth inning.
Allen Espinal.
And when you're hot, you're hot. I guess when you hit, you field better just naturally. Borfin today with a double, 2 RBIs, and a diving catch now in left field to his credit.
First pitch to Allen Espinal is in there for strike one on the outside part of the strike zone, 0-1. Espinal 0 for 2 on the day, a walk to his name, ground out and a fly out. Behind in the count, 0-1. Matthews from the windup, he fires. Breaking ball misses upstairs and outside, 1-1. He talked about it, almost had a home run to the opposite field. But Borfin, he'll take 2 runs driven in. Matthews from the windup, and the base is empty. Here's the 1-1. Espinal seeing if he went around. He did, according to first base umpire Steve Kalenda. And the Bourne Braves are down to their last strike. The Bourne Braves fans chanting 31. Matthews trying to close the door. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. It misses low and outside, 2-2. It's a 10-3 ball game, but the Doors are trying to get into the All-Star break on the right foot. 6-1-1 in their last 8 should they get this win. Here's the 2-2. Breaking ball misses upstairs, counts run full. You talked about it. The last thing Matthews wants to do is face the top of the order. Bryce Eblin waits on deck. It would be a lefty on righty matchup. Matthews from the windup. The payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out on a breaking ball, and the ball game is over. Final score for tonight, Falmouth Commodores 10, Bourne Braves 3. The Doors enter the All-Star break with an awesome win. They score runs in 5 consecutive innings. Doran Park tosses a gem. And we'll see you in 2 days.
Well, we talked a lot about tonight, about how the Doors have gone through a lot of close games. Sometimes they've won, sometimes they've tied. A lot of the times they've lost, but tonight, not one of those games. Just what the doctor ordered. Not only a beating, but one against a Western Division rival that the Doors are trying to catch. Falmouth now leads the season series over these Bourne Braves by 3-2. And they can head into back-to-back days, first with the All-Star and then a true off day over the next 2 with points in their 7 of their last 8 games.
Well, Doran Park for the 2nd time this season picks up a W here at Doran Park. Hunter Furtado, the losing pitcher for Bourne. But the Commodores will have some All-Stars tomorrow. Colby Halter, Alex Mooney, Andrew Pinckney, Joey Ryan, and Philip Abner. But that's it for us tonight here at Doran Park. With a final score of 10-3, with Carter Bainbridge and Trey Redfield, Logan Soforenko saying good night. We will see you in 2 days. Have a great night.